the buyers have stopped, and then since then it's 4 straight red candles, depending on where this next one closes, which looks like it will be red. So 5 straight now red candles to the downside for Palantir. So yeah, I feel like there was been. I mean, that's why when Neil mentioned 30%, I was like, we did get going, and that's for sure. Good day there for Palantir.
It was also on earnings too, that other one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, was it? Yeah, that
was an earnings day
there. So Palantir just continues to put money in traders' pockets, but the short may now be in on PLTR. So I'm not going to go short, nor do I advise doing that. But at the end of the day, there's that 160 wick, and all the way down, like it just cracked below 157.50 there right now as it's going a lot lower. It's 11.01 there. So yeah, I think you're right. Market, there it is again, Hamster, there in the chat. The market loves round numbers, the retail market. And yeah, that's why I'm always talking about it. And not only that, I think yesterday when I said 160, that could have been an options area that people had traded off of. So, no doubt a pullback there for PLTR.
Did you see this name? I know we're going to go over the midday.
Yeah, it was on my scanner.
But Alibaba.
Yeah, second one.
Day 2 on Alibaba. Let's give some respect to this. This is the first time I think we're actually talking about it today. But the problem with the Chinese names in the middle of the day, it's hard to get a good breakout in the afternoon sometimes on Baba because it's like the morning and then, the Asian traders go to sleep. So I'd worry about an extension on Baba, but what a great looking name here. And it has been fantastic. This one continues to run. It's got plenty of room to rally to the 140. I don't know if Intel gets to its round number at $100, but I think that's what we're looking for next. Still at 99. I think it's got a chance. I think it might break out at lunchtime, but we'll throw you guys to the midday if it does.
The Nasdaq's at highs. Like everything is ripping.
The ES and the Nasdaq, they're all at highs trying to go. So as long as that keeps on happening, I think we've got a chance. We're going to go to the desk first to Adara, and then we're going to throw you guys to Sharif and Joe. We'll see where it goes. Palantir could still, it's got a chance at the,
I think the high of the day will be around that 161. I'll call that
double top?
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I hope it's not.
What's the high now?
To go high. Yeah, 160.50s.
Okay, so
I think they're right around that level, I think, for Palantir. But yeah, anyways, I still don't think it's a short. It's just, well cooked there, Palantir. Yes. So again, thank you. The hat is on. We're back to the desk with Adara.
We get some lunch.
Keep an eye here on Moderna. Now, obviously not a massive move, but just be aware here, there was a little bit of a spike in this name. The company's announcing that they're starting new phase 1 clinical trials for one of its treatments, specifically mRNA 1469. This is a new vaccine targeting Bundibugyo Ebola virus. So new Ebola vaccine in the works here for our mRNA. They're making some announcements related to it. Keep an eye on this name. Also, keep an eye on NVDA. NVDA in focus here, not too much of a move, but they're collaborating with a group called DDN on GPU-initiated data access for AI. If I get anything else, we'll, of course, keep you posted as we send you over to the midday. Back to you.
Who? I never heard of him. Boom, 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 boom. Guerrero asesino. Oh. We're gonna do the flexing today.
Our guy,
Joey.
Our boy Edgar Berlanga got the W.
Berlanga, huh?
Yeah, you like Berlanga?
Yeah, he's okay. I know you like him.
I like him.
Boom! Greetings and salutations, beautiful people. Welcome to the Midday Show. That's your boy Joey Options. I am Sharif. Let's say hello to everybody, Mr. Options. Who we got in the chat, man? We got Mr. Kevin G. We got Kalua. We got Axa, Travman, Judy, Hamilton, Durant Gordon, other Zinc. Crazy Dirt Weed, Tarik, Hangry, A Proper Dang Paradox, shout out to Braca and Kalua, Mike PD Ryder, TG Kodak, and Andrew Chow, Juan Padilla in the house. How many eggs did I have today? I had 12, brother.
Oh,
but from tomorrow onwards, I'm going to be having an entire carton, 500 grams. I know the metric system is complicated for Americans, but it's fine. 500 grams of egg whites, and then I'm gonna throw on another 4 eggs, onto that so we can have the requisite fats. Well, it is what it is, Katina, man. You sit right next to me. If there's gas, you'd know. Blakey Spears in the house. I Grow Fighting. We got Bailey Buttons, Manic R. Shout out to Snowman, Kirk D. Let's go. We got the Hangry Wife. We got Micron Millionaire. Market Navigation. Shout out to Christ Eternal God, Casey Mint. Blicky Spears, Terrible Trades. We got Dixon Ichiro. What's going on, my man? Love the pictures, Ichiro, man. Looks like that concert was a hell of fun. Options in deep. Man. Texas Jets fan Sharif is all yoked up. He knows, man. He saw me have those eggs. We had breakfast together. Shout out to my man. Ruchina Katka probably killed that. Sorry, I do apologize. Don Baka, Tariq. We got, who else, man?
Funny
Becky.
Boy.
What's going on, Becky? We got Ricky. We got Rusty, Joey.
Yeah.
We got Ticker Tantrum.
Ticker Tantrum.
Good morning, everybody.
Yeah, I mean, what's up, Kevin? What's up, Jody? What's up, everyone in the chat? Hold on, Assassino. Before we do that, once again, we don't want to forget about our friends over there on TikTok, Bravely, always doing us wonders, sending us a list of names for us to give a shout out to. And we're going to do exactly that. Ricky. The Ricky? All right. Yeah, well, I don't know. I thought it was Ricky, the Ricky. Anyways, Da Ami 902, Pets in Fun, Maverick Life, T Money, Penthouse, Steven Jackson, Jack Jones, Mac McDougal, Big Dog Cards, all right, and then we go Entrepreneur, User, Fred, 2494. That was my grandfather's name, Freddie. Freddie Boy, Blacklist, Bunazin, Bravelti, Bravely, obviously, we got to give a shout out to T.I. Vince, and then we have Colin, Arturo, Ben, and whoa, okay, I almost said that out loud, but bleep, you pay me. Okay, that's not very nice of you, is it? Now, Assassins Fraternity, a couple more. Charles Tolliver, not any relations to Don. Not any there. And John, so Kim, good. What's going on? Kim, DJ Vinny, and Lando News.
Vinny Jr.?
Yeah, no, senior. Senior. All right. Yeah. Anyways, there it is, guys. Fantastic stuff. Let's fire it up here, Assassino, and then we'll get into some stocks. VinFast reported strong Q2 momentum, delivering more than 70,000 EVs globally, up 96% year over year. First half deliveries reached nearly 129,000 vehicles, up 78%, reinforcing the company's growth trajectory across its expanding EV portfolio. By mid-year, VinFast had already achieved approximately 43% of both its 2026 4W and 2W delivery targets, putting the company firmly on track across growth engines. Fantastic stuff from VFS. Go check them out. VFS Live. Guys, speaking of doing it live, let's figure out what we got going on here today. Now, we've only taken 2 trades. We're nicely green and in the money, but it all depends. It all reflects on how we go and approach each individual trade. Now, I like what the boys had going on to the right of us during the earlier hour session. Listen, Palantir, most definitely the trade of the day and something that I was personally keeping my eye on, and I didn't take advantage of it. You can get frustrated, or you can just be calm, cool, and somewhat tranquil, but that wasn't necessarily the case as I get slightly agitated. But let's get right into what we have right now, okay? So what we had earlier in the just after the open, we had a price compression pattern. And what happened is I'm already involved, right? I feel like I'm almost at the lower end of the range, so I'm positioned. But if we do happen to get that breakout, then I want to add aggressively. But what happened here on my first entry with my ad was, one, it wasn't when I was supposed to, but there's a reason why I was hesitant on the fact that I was adding into this more than doubling my size, is that the volume was never supporting that wedge breakout. And I'm like, oh no, that's not good. But then we had some tape movement and the flow started to come in. But as I'm keeping an eye on my volume indicator, I'm like, uh-oh, this is suspicious, because when we're breaking out, we need the volume to support the breakout. That wasn't the case. Even though I did that aggressively, I got it when I was supposed to, all right? As soon as we had that breakdown, I'm like, you know what? The volume didn't support it. Let's get out of Dodge, sit on our hands for a little bit, and wait for another primetime opportunity. So what do we do? When was our out? 1 second. See ya. When was our out? Around 9:50. We wait until 10:25 to re-engage back in this name, but then we add more to this position, looking for that break through the volume-weighted average price, and the market going absolutely parabolic this morning. I'm like, what's going on with this name? Eventually, I thought that buyers were going to step in. That wasn't necessarily the case. There was no continuation, but I'm fortunate enough to take off the majority of my position here. And then I was like, you know what? Let's just get out break even. So we're green on the day. We go 50% clip rate. We'll eliminate all the losses, and we're going to wait for some more opportunities. But let's send it off to see it right now.
NVIDIA here, not a crazy move, a little bit of an uptick. So it's released its Alpamayo 2 Super. That is an open weight reasoning system built for robo-taxis, trucks, and other autonomous machines. So NVIDIA is saying that it ranked among nearly 40 systems that were evaluated on the Lingo QA autonomous driving reasoning benchmark. And it's built on NVIDIA Cosmos 3 Super Reasoner and further trained through reinforcement learning. Alpamayo 2 Super is 3 times the scale of Alpamayo 1.5. NVIDIA now dropping towards the downside.
Thank you very much. Do you want to
continue? Yeah, no, well, that's it. I mean, what else are we going to really... I mean, we have a lot to talk about throughout the day, but Palantir was up bigly this morning. We got some gifted memberships, but that's what we had our focus on, was looking for some form of a continuation in this beast here. Wasn't necessarily the case.
Well said, Joey. All right, man. First and foremost, Nicole Harris. I know it says that, but we're going to call her Nicole Harris. Shout out to you, Nicole. Thank you very much for the $5 super chat. This is more down your alley, Joey. I had 763 and 766 SPY option calls for today. I sold early because I can't believe it keeps moving up. What's the news? The Middle East, maybe, you know, it just feels like it's more driven by sentiment there. Obviously, we did have that headline today for the chips that President Trump could be banning certain optical as well as other different devices from China for data centers. That obviously helps domestic chip manufacturers. So
I think there could be a couple tailwinds as well too, Sharif. Like we have JP Morgan hitting all-time highs, so you have that rotation into some of these bank names, right, as they continue to climb. And we know with the S&P 500, it's tech, it's the financials, and then it's healthcare. So if the second and third strongest sectors within the S&P are moving relatively well, that's why it's been slightly outperforming what the Nasdaq's been up to. So yeah, I think there's a couple of things that can add a little bit of a fuel to the S&P 500 fire.
All right, and Matt from Tinder.
Ooh, what's up, bro?
I do like that one, Matt from Tinder. All right, man. Well, you know what? He can be from wherever because he just dropped, I should say, 10 Trader TV Live memberships. Thank you very much, Matt. And look, Ellie Musty, I guess. You got one. Tilster, Handyman Georgia, Becky, NG18, Stepper, Hot Stepper, Line Stepper, Michael, Chris Conti, CJ Flu, September Man, Big Boy, Fast Boy. All you guys got free premium Trader TV Live memberships thanks to Matt. So make sure you are in the chat, because if you're not in the chat, you can't get these memberships. But I feel incumbent to tell you guys now that you got the premium membership. Mosey on over to the YouTube homepage for Trader TV Live. You'll see a host of tabs at the top. Click posts. And then there she is right there, members only, the Morgan Market Brief. And I put the link for you guys right at the top so you needn't click read more, because it seemed to be some confusion about that. Click that link right there. There you go, my morning note ready. Always early, like 7:30, something like that, every single morning. All right, let's get right down to work options, man, because we got 2 trades on. There goes AIMX. I'm looking for a flat top break on this monster here. Ascending wedge pattern with a plethora of higher lows, but that is the good news. The bad news is we keep freaking rejecting at $7, even though we've been up to 743. Most, if not all, of the prints are below 7, with just a couple of wicks that do breach that. Here we go into the 90s options, man, and it flashes 7s. It takes out all my orders. 728 limit up. 728 limit up right now. We're showing 13s. Rip City. Rip City. Here we go again. Come on, give me my money, man. 728 limit up options, man. We're looking for a little bit more. We're going to post some ahead of that limit up, lest the limit price change. Huge seller at 24. They killed him, Joey. Into 20, I think 25s we go there. We have 651 on this. Any part of this goes against me, it's all over. We're holding still a couple of shares here. We're looking for a little bit more. I want to see if this can limit up. The immediate answer is no, and I can't even see where a limit up is anymore because it is removed from the price action here. So we're holding above 7, but I'm not holding my breath here. I've seen this action before. We've wicked above 7, and we failed below 7. That's why I had those resting orders there to take advantage of the wicks up because, well, I'm old and slow.
Oh.
And my hands can't hang. I like making fun of myself. So that's what we're looking at right now, options, man. We're looking for that 7 1/3. That's where I'm going to print next. Now, one trade is going well. The other one, we're about a penny out of the money here on ADGM. I don't like what I see. I end the trade here. We took a couple of beak wetters to the long side, but I'm not liking the look of ADM's jib. So we're going to get out of that, and we're going to focus on AIMX. I want to see if this can hold above 7 because, you know, for at least for the moment, it is holding. So I want to see if we can kind of maybe pick up a dip as well. I'm thinking maybe 675, maybe a little bit lower than 675, maybe 660. Traf, man, you know what I mean, brother.
Oh.
I'm thinking 660 because that's where the 10 EMA on the 5 is. So if it does fail 7, it generally does find some support at said 10 EMA. Let me just make my point here on the big charts. And this is what I'm seeing, guys. And this is what oh boy, I do apologize for the charts temperament today because they've been temperamental since I sat down. So let's go. Yeah. It's so annoying, Assassino. Watch this, Assassino. It's going to freeze again. Watch this. All right. So here's what I'm seeing, guys. A higher low, ascending wedge pattern. We lovingly call that the flat top break. You needn't be a chartered market technician to see that this has trouble holding above 7. There is only one print on the entire day that closed above $7, and that is the print that I just took right now. And look, it's having trouble still holding above 7. So that is what I'm looking at. But as always, if there are any other small cap gappers that I've neglected to mention or I haven't seen, I'd love to hear about it. Let's just tag me in the chat so that I do know about it there. My man, Texas Jet fan, slow down on the eggs. You sound like you chartered.
Oh, bro, that's crazy.
It's okay, bro. He's a good time. He's a good time, bro. So we're back above here, $7. I'm still waiting at 733. There seems to be a seller of note at the quarter to a fifth of a dollar. So we've rejected now twice on the 5-minute chart at 725. We're accruing here some bids right around 720, and there it goes. Options, man, into the high of the day, 743. Get it?
Who did that one?
I don't know. I think it was Assassino. I have no idea, brother. There it goes. Options, man. Into the high of the day, 776. Limit up, guys. Here we go. 770. 776
AMIX
showing up.
man.
Limit up. Here we go. It's not in the halt parameter yet. Now it is. AMIX. Limit up. We need another 5 or 6 seconds in this way. Very pleased with this trade. You know, I added a couple of times, but there was a dip trade there at 6 1/3 that we didn't get. So, you know, it's all good there. Anyway, AMIX. Ripping. Rip city. Happy with this one, Joey. What do you got?
All right, man. Seems like we rise to the top of the AI trades. Strong companies will pull through, and weak balance sheets are getting broken. Well said, brother. Listen, when you come out, like, I mean, the majority of the big participants, the MEG, I guess the hyperscalers have reported. I mean, we have AMD today, but I have every ounce of confidence in the company that Lisa Su and group are just going to blow it out of the water. So, yeah, man, the numbers are definitely reflecting and showing themselves. So, yeah, good stuff, and I'm liking what we see, and that's why they can also help drive the market a little bit higher as well, too. Are we going to someone? Sorry, did I miss? Okay, we're good. All right, so I get to ramble on here for a couple of minutes. Now, I mean, here it is, right? Gorev's long from 209.50. What I don't like is we have all-time highs in the Dow and in the S&P 500, and we're not really moving here, on NVDA, which I'm like, that's a little odd. So why are we, I mean, I'll obviously trade it a little bit more, but why are we making life so much more difficult on ourselves when you have something that's not necessarily participating in the rally, when you can find something that's strong like Palantir? It was such a nice play, man. It was my number one on the list. Just, it's been overbeaten. It's been beaten up for so long. The numbers were fantastic. You increased the quarterly guide, and it was just a recipe for putting in an absolute monster day. Did any of us think that it was going to go 25%? Most likely not, but even so, holding on to that double-digit gain is just absolutely monstrous, and I'm not surprised by this whatsoever. So Palantir up 26% at this moment. Buy the dip. And so this is where I was looking at this consolidated break, didn't pull the trigger, so it wasn't hydration nation. It was hesitation nation on that one for whatever reason that may be. 148.64, and then I'm like, oh, all right, what is even happening here? 154 holds, and I'm like, okay, let's see if we're gonna get another move into this supply zone over here at 160. You can see almost to the penny. 160.20 we reject. There is a little bit of open interest there. And I'm like, all right, let's see if we get any form of a pullback. But I don't think the narrative of us pulling back and giving back at 13% of this move is in the works for today. The buy program is fully on. And the way that we can identify this is just looking at how we react every time the stock dips a little bit. It gets bought back up. Keep your eyes on the tape. Sells off, the buyers step right back in, and you can end up identify that by looking at the ask and above the ask too. So a lot going on. Electric Passions. Let me know what ticker that was again. I was looking and I can't scroll up that far. Grunfeld, ANET, 52-week high breakout here. Earnings tonight. Yeah, I mean, there's a star-studded list tonight. I think a lot of us are looking forward to what's going to happen here in SpaceX. It's honestly a mixed bag.
Give me your prediction here, Joey.
Man, I honestly, I have no idea. I mean,
it's beat down substantially here to get a
dude, we will. So you and I had this conversation this morning about a name. I hate comparing apples to oranges.
Sure.
But the public market, in regards to Nike, I'm like, it might be good if they go private, man.
Yeah, that's a good call. You've had a lot of these, outlying calls that ended up being kind of true lately.
I think I have a little bit of it's that gut and that intuition. But you know what? The public markets can punish you until there's no end, really, and that might happen. But again, the street may like it, and you get that excitement, and the next thing you know, the stock goes from $115 all the way up to $130, $135, right? So you never know. I wouldn't be surprised either way. So
the
I'll
question
put
is,
it that way.
Did you allow the orders to trigger in and around that 100 area?
No, I haven't bought any more since the 160 or 150 bill. To be honest,
you're still thinking pure long term.
Dude, this might be a double digit. Yeah, this is if anything, this is Tesla 2.0, but already extremely matured.
Right?
If you ask me, you know what I mean? It's
that's
the forward look of what they have going on.
That's actually a good comparison. Yeah. All right, guys, let's get right back down to work here. AMIX, halt time, 11:17:41 current time. 11:22:07. We have about 20 seconds before earliest resumptions. The tap is ripping into the high side. 8:10 now. The tap, the halt price is 776. Tap dropping to 805, 802. Looking for a move here. 8:10 as we get a lot closer to opening. Thank you to Adam James Abroad for the super and the boom. Where the hell is Bovin here,
Where
man?
is he?
I mean, Bovin, like, you got to be here, Bovin. You can't be missing these
Too much money, man. He's enjoying his.
He works I think he works as well. So
there you go.
Here we go. It is going to be, sadly, at least a 10-minute halt. Maybe not sadly, right? Because we've seen these 10-minute halts really pump up the tap at times. But just as a general observation, having traded these small caps for a while now, sometimes when there's just too much of a prolonged volatility halt, the tap is just going to start dropping. But I've been wrong about that lately. Anyway, showing 8:14 right now. So we're going to have earliest open, if you're a newer trader, is going to be 11:27:41. So get your atomic clocks ready or whatever you're doing there on that side. I'm going to stay put here. I'm not really liking anything else. I'll just cut the crap. I don't really like anything. There's this BWEN thing over here, which is okay. It's a little light on vol, right? $5.25, best number combo ever. Up 28.68%, 535 high, 1.37 million shares. A little light, kind of, and then a little bit of a consolidation here. It's not bad. It's just not ripping, right? So I'm going to keep BWEN on watch. It's been on watch since we sat down, but nothing else, though, guys. I stopped out of ADGM. I didn't like the look of this one's jib. We're negative on ADGM, but barely. Anyway, it's a prolonged downtrend. This feels like it could be losing VWAP sooner rather than later. There is Vagas, VGAS. This one broke out in the aftermarket yesterday. Can kind of continue today. We're still below the aftermarket low. I'm not really liking it, though. I just be honest with you. Pay as well. PAY more expensive. 20 up 25%. Looks like an earnings play from yesterday. Day 2 continuation here. did 0 in the pre, but did react in the aftermarket yesterday. 44.15 high. There's Just Blaze, oh baby. BLZE breaking down now below the volume weighted average price. This looks like an unbroken downtrend. This one could be headed here if you're short inclined to about 19, maybe 20. But if it really loses the bid, I'm thinking 19. BLZE, BLZE for my American friends out there. And then there's Snap. You know, it's not a small cap gapper, but it's got a great continuation. Big move in the aftermarket yesterday into 575. We've taken that out by 5 pennies today, 580. And then XGN, like it's a light bunch today, guys. I mean, it sucks. Look at this. XGN, look at it. Look at this crap. Right, I put this on because it was holding structure. Oh God, it's died again. It's holding structure in the sense that, you know, the low area of the range, look at that, $6 kind of holding. So there's that. But guys, it's a light bunch. I do apologize. Goodness. That one got me. Had LOLing, oh baby, yeah. Remember the Just Blaze, oh
Yeah,
baby.
that was it. Is that Cameron?
Yeah. And what was the Cameron's group there? Was it just called Just Blaze?
Yeah, no, I don't know, man. You're asking the wrong dude.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
I'm an R&B dude, man.
You're an R&B dude.
Yeah.
Casey, you're delayed as always. It is now an 8:30 tap.
Oh,
Casey,
she said that 10 seconds late.
I know, but I'm trying to aggravate her.
Yeah, she's aggravated.
Like, you're delayed, bro.
Oh.
Get it, Case. 8:20 though. She's right again because it just dropped back down to 8:20. So
Dipset.
BWEN is moving, ladies and gents. It just got into the high of the day, 535 BWEN.
It's a fight.
Ding, ding, ding. Come on, Assassino. There he is. Doesn't miss a beat, bro. Assassino, that's why he's good at what he does, man. He's just good. Anyway, Joey, we're still waiting. We got another minute or so.
Yeah, 823 there on the top, slightly dropping, but nothing crazy. I mean, Palantir still doing Palantir things on the intraday session. Gaurav, nice call on getting out of that NVDA. Let's head over to our watch list, ladies and gentlemen, and see what else we got going on. We'll pull up our NVDL. Got to get PLTU blocked there. Yeah, it's Dipset. Yeah, Dipset.
Love it.
Let's head over to our watch list and see what we have cooking up here, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, what a strong day across the board once again. Whoa! All right, double digit. We're back to the double digits. So I think this is a key inflection point for this name. Are we going to sit on the backside of this trend, Sharif, or not? Listen, anything south of average, I'm buying. I'm buying this stuff as much as I possibly can and going to continue to do so. If it breaks out, I have to be prepared to just go for this all-time high. Man, I ain't playing any games anymore these days.
10 seconds.
Sharif, 10 seconds until this thing's open. Tap 844, so expect an open above where we close, where it halted at. There it is, 833. 833, is it going to come? Let's take a look at the tape. Bang, 870. Look at the tape there, Sharif. Boom, printing 72s. 80s, I've seen 80s flash. Keep it on. There it is, 87s. Wow, we don't even need price action at this point. Sharif, is just the time and sales. Ask the old boys on the NYSE floor how they used to read things. Boom, printing 67s. Can it hold up? 80s is back up there once again. Not too bad of a look. Can we breach that 87 marker? As soon as I see we print 90s, it's off to the races. Potentially here, ooh, a big drop right there, Sharif. 40 cents just like this. And then there it is, printed 94s. Printed 94s. Don't even need the candles. We just looking at the tape there. A nice little move here on AMIX. I don't want to. I don't know why I'm commentating when you're in the position.
It's okay.
Yeah, you're all right.
Gives me time to concentrate.
Gives you time to concentrate. So there it is. A nice little pullback in here, ladies and gentlemen. It's important to be able to read the tape. It's one of the most. If you ask me, price is important, but it's a reflection. And then you have volume, and there it is, printing 84s again. And then you need the time and sales. So yeah, a beautiful, beautiful move here. Let's see if it can continue. Printing 90s now, heading up into 90s. Sharif, can we get a clear 9-0? 902, not 90210, but just 9-0. Let's just
the man like that one too, bro.
All right,
it's failing.
It's failing.
Bleeding its own blood.
As it breaks down. Yeah, let's see if it holds up, though. We've seen some buyers step in on whoa, bro. But yeah, broke to 20s. Broke to 20s. That's crazy. Hey, listen, man, I spent a lot of my high school days watching the newer 90210, not the old one.
Get the man, stop, bro.
You like that one? Yeah, you like that one? I like that one. Yeah, I like that one too.
That one sucks.
Whoa.
Sorry, bro. It's not the original, man. Sorry, bro. Let's go.
Yeah, it's all right, man. But it's all right. We had our own little version of that here. Headed forward, we're still consolidating, guys. So now I think we can confirm that we've established a range between around a low of 20s all the way to 90s here. If it breaks, there might be a nice little move. Casey, if this hits 9, dinner is on you apparently. So don't worry about that one. $9. Ooh, I pulled up the level 2. $9 dinner's on Casey. We'll fly over to NYC as well, see what we got going on over there. But no, it's printing 70s once again. So we're holding up within this range. What we want to see is the next wave of participants step in, and then boom, we punch through this level. What happened, Katina, man?
Katina, man. When he hangs back and he starts commenting while we're doing the show, it just makes me chuckle, man. I love when he sits the back
Give this man his money, he said. Yeah.
He said it in a different way, though, Joey. We can't say that on the show, but Katina, man, is making me chuckle, bro.
Some obscenities in there, or what? Okay, let's go, man. This is key, Sharif. We need to see if we're going to break. Focus on the tape, guys. This is tape reading 101 right now, so we don't even need to look at the price. We're going to
Katina, man.
We're not even doing any of that, man. Let's focus on it, and then we can correlate the two. Printing 70s. We're going to head over there momentarily. Can we break 70s? Not quite yet. Let's send it over to Adara.
All right, man.
Yeah, we're going to get into this Euro segment in just a minute here. I quickly, though, want to mention Procter & Gamble. Before we do that, keep an eye on PG here, guys. P&G CEO Shailesh Jejurikar is currently on CNBC, and he's just said that the company's going to be announcing the acquisition of Thorne today. This is going to be a $3.8 billion acquisition of a premium wellness and supplements brand. So acquisition in focus for PG. Not much of a move here. Just keep an eye on this one. Again, this announcement apparently going to happen today. Not sure if it's going to happen before the bell or not. But what's happening right now is a look at the European markets with One. Welcome back, One. What is there to know about what the European markets did during the session?
Thank you so much, Adara. So European markets on the rise as hope for diplomatic talks in the Middle East pushed oil prices lower, boosting sentiment. So take a look at the European markets indexes here right now. Stock 600 up by 0.75%, pushing into uncharted territory as tech beats offset that of a retail drag. In Germany, they are the biggest leaders for today, up by nearly 0.8%. Bayer led gains in Germany, rising over 4% on very strong Q2 results, as well as a steady 2026 outlook. Tech and AI shares also rallied with Infineon and Siemens Energy, both gaining about more than 3% throughout the morning. And Lufthansa lost about 4% after missing their profit beat and expectations, cutting its outlook, while Hugo Boss also fell after reporting declining sales. Over in France, we saw industrial and tech giants advancing, led by Schneider Electric, which were up by nearly 3%. Airbus was also up by nearly 2%, and Safran also up by about 1.5%. Now, in contrast, however, our retails such as Louis Vuitton were down by about 0.8%, L'Oreal down by 1.2%, and Total Energies down by 0.3%. Over in the UK, however, we got some ground being gained, especially in energy, mining, as well as banking beats. That kept the London tape supported. We saw HSBC, they ticked slightly above higher today, despite their beatings earnings, as well as announcing a $1 billion buyback after their Q2 results. Now, BP shares fell. They were the main laggards. They fell by about 5%, even after delivering quarterly results above that of market expectations, most probably because of the easing energy anxieties happening right now. Brent crude oil priced and stabilizing below that of $85 per barrel. That's on, of course, US-Iran ceasefire signals, helping to lower the input costs in Europe, as well as relieving some margin pressure on European manufacturers. So one of the main stories, of course, is big tech and semiconductor relief in that of Europe. We saw a lot of European supply chains or chip supply chains catching a strong bid. BE Semiconductor up over 4% on upgrades. And all those AI adjacent blocks also rising after strong revenue updates, especially from Palantir overnight.
Yeah, lots to look at there in Europe. We'll have even more to look at in Asia and the Asian markets with One at 3:30 p.m. So guys, don't go anywhere. There's exciting content all day. Back to you.
Let's go. There it is.
Great information, Juan. Thank you so much. All right, I'm out of AMIX. I did get very close to the high of day print. I got 15s, and then I stopped out at 65s because I did see a 75 buyer. Watch out. There's a break of 9. It has to hold 860. There is an 860 buyer multiple times, 1130, 1132, 45. So that 860. I thought I was saying 1860. 860 buyer has shown up multiple times. We are putting in higher lows, but we also have lower highs. I'm keeping my eye on the 5-second chart to spot areas of support and resistance. $9 resistance, prior area high. Oh, here we go.
Here we go,
All right, let's see, 920 high.
There we go,
920 high. There it goes. Options, man, into 35. 975 limit up. 975 limit up, guys. Let's watch what we get here. Do we get a hold of 9? Watch out, 975, as I said, limit up. Be careful with this one. Pardon me? Yeah, it's on the board. Watch 975 limit up, guys. Throwing that on there. Let's see. It's still 975 limit up. There's 970 again. Looking for a little bit more. There's 75. Not quite yet. There isn't. But I'm looking for the $half hold. Oh crap.
Oh crap.
Yeah, take over for a second.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to pull it up here as well too. Listen, I just doubled my day on this one. Slow motion Joe's.
Boy.
Listen, I even more than double did, Sharif, to be honest with you. Slow motion Joe's like this guy in his tape. Well, I'll tell you this. Yeah, you don't want. Hey, you don't want to bring that. You don't want to bring that Joe back out, man.
We do want that Joe. We want that Joe, Katina, man.
No.
We want that Joe.
I'm telling you, you don't want to bring that guy back out, man. He's dead. He died a long time ago.
That's cap, man.
No, man.
That's absolute cap.
He comes out once or twice a year, and then that's it.
What do you mean?
Yeah, we gotta hide that. No, listen, ladies and gentlemen. In all seriousness, slow motion Joe, not to point fingers, but yeah, exactly. He's like, man, this guy in his tape. Well, I'll tell you one thing for free right now.
Say, Joey?
Is that this trade doesn't happen. These, for me personally, with my style, they don't happen without being able to read the time and sales. Ooh. So you really have to pay attention to the order flow right here. But what an absolute, we're not bringing them back, trust me. But here it is. So we get in and out, and then
can he visit at least?
Yeah, he comes out twice a year, man. That's when I do it, and then maybe like Carabana, you'll see like a little bit of he just. He comes out, man. There's peeps of him, but again, he's like Bruce Banner in the Hulk, but he gets the Hulk.
6-7 buyer
control. But no, in all reality, guys, yeah, this was a pretty good trade for us here on the day. Our best name, just waiting to get back in, and as soon as it opened up over on this level, then it's just like, all right, off to the races we go into $10. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah, let's just continue to party. Now I'm only sitting on a fraction of a percent of this position as we took most of it off here. We get half, and then we just piece it out on the way up. So it's been a pretty good one. If it breaks down, then it's not going to do too much damage to what we have going on.
925
here,
support.
Bang.
So if it loses 925, I would consider bailing because that was the flat top. I just got stopped out. Okay, I moved up my stop a little bit, but we did really good on this. Okay, we got into $10. Not quite. We got 88. The high of the day is 89. So I'm keeping an eye here. $half buyer generally. Let's just see if the trend flips. So we have a local area low of, 939. 939 local area low. So if it does fail that, I would leave. But I'd also be looking for a 9.25 step in. Showing 9.5 now. Continuing to watch. Let's see if this gives me an opportunity to get back in. We have a bit of a downtrend right now with a general $half buyer. $half buyer keeps stepping in, which is good look. Let's see. We can kind of break trend. I think if we get back above 975, this could, at least try for that $10 break. You don't get this close to 10 without, come on. 9, there's 9.25. Are the buyers stepping in here? Buyer stepping in, 9.25. Let's give this to 919, 900. There we go. Let's see what we get on this one, 948, and then we'll throw some into the high areas as well as these areas. So let's see if we can kind of pop back up, maybe resume trend over here. Anything below 919 will end my trade. So continuing to watch, going in with smaller share size because we're pulling back. Got to be alive to this. Look at it, rip back above the $half, taking out all my orders again. Oh, my Lanta. 936, we're looking for more options, man, and we're looking for some in the 80s, lest it make it up there without my having an order. Into the 70s we go. It's doing it again, and are we going to see $10 this time? We're seeing some selling here in the low 70s, high 60s. Be on the lookout for a flush. My stop now moves to break even. If we fail 975, that will be a lower high, and I will have no qualms with that, or qualms with that lower high. So going to continue to watch here. Let's see if we get up through 10. That is what I'm holding for right now. I stop out through my entry.
All right, man. Good stuff. Yeah. Nice trade. Lots of fun there with that one. So, yeah.
And they're fast developing too, which is nice, right? So you don't have to wait too much. Well, it works both ways. You can get clipped on it as well.
Goes both ways, man. We've seen some hectic rug pulls last week that were just like rip your face off and like holy schmoly, woolly poly on that one there. Joe's I was right at the huge level. Yeah, thanks, Tishaper. Because like, listen, I would like to think that, you know, what's very different is because it's very distinct in what we see on the tape here in these momentum style trades, and that's what we're looking for. And that's what allows kind of these entries is when you see the the tape really start to pick up, it'll be correlated within the volume. So it's just like you have this cycle of pieces of information that when they all correlate and you register it relatively quick, then you can be fortunate enough to just put yourself in the right place at the right time. It happens that you get the fake outs, but that's why on a lot of my small cap trades is that it's precise and waiting for specific signals there on the tape. But let's
see what Neil's got there?
No, I didn't even know what's for lunch, but let's send it over to the desk here, guys.
USO following here reports coming in that Iran is considering allowing European nations to remove mines from the Strait of Hormuz, a concession that could be part of a deal to normalize shipping in the waterway and ease peace talks with the United States. So now Iran has repeatedly stated in public that it will not allow foreign countries to participate in demining efforts at the critical oil as well as liquefied natural gas transportation hub. However, in private meetings in recent weeks, Tehran has also softened its stance, according to certain diplomats that are familiar with this situation, who've spoken on the condition of the anonymity to discuss these matters that are sensitive. So the Iran Foreign Ministry, as of now, has not immediately responded to any kind of requests or comments. But it is important to keep in mind right now that breaking news that Iran is weighing on allowing European nations to clear mines in the Strait of Hormuz. So USO reacting to this news right now.
Thank you very much for that, Sia. Yeah, well said, Slow Motion. I agree with you there, brother. And I want to mention Frathos Can. It's like, Sharif, you said 5-second chart. Did you mean 5 minute? No, brother. And I mentioned that to you in the chat, so I already know you know the answer. But I want to take this opportunity. Oh God, I'll take this opportunity to watch a blank screen. No, I'm sorry. The charts are acting up today, guys, and there's really nothing I can do about that. So we'll give this a second to load. There we go, SSC. You know, it loaded up. So what I'm looking for here, why I'm looking and using the 5-second chart, it's very similar to using the level 2. For example, if I see a 918 buyer here stepping up multiple times, every time we dip into 918, I'm just giving you an example. I'm not saying there is a 918 buyer. I'll take notice of that. And that same skill can kind of be taken on or used on the 5-second chart. If there is a 918 buyer habitually coming in at that whatever level, you're going to be able to see it on the 5-second chart. The beautiful thing about the chart, though, is you can reference back to it. Whereas the level 2, it's got to be at that level for you to see it. So that's kind of why I use the 5-second chart as kind of a visual level 2, if that makes any sense. So you don't need to use the 5. I know, RC uses the 5, uses the 10. So, have at it, whatever works for you. But the point is just to be able to spot those localized buyers and sellers at any one area, and that's kind of my methodology for that. So,
all right,
that's what I want to say there, Joseph.
Coolio, yeah, Casey. Let's see, man. Casey thinks that we can get a little bit more of a move here. What an absolute 2-day run that we're experiencing in the S&P 500, ladies and gentlemen. We're at all-time highs. Wow, it's so crazy to think like you get a 5% pullback and then off to the races the market goes. Man, it's truly, this is some remarkable stuff that I believe we're going through right now. And I mean, I'm not going to call it 2000 or what is it? 2020. Yeah, geez, wow, my poor brain fart there. all over again because I wasn't participating. I didn't know what that felt like when you just stepped in every day and just like bought every pullback essentially, and then off to the races the market goes. So
What?
I mean,
COVID?
yeah, during COVID.
Oh
yeah,
God, yeah, man.
yeah. It's
You
just
had a
like-
negative day if there was but they were big negative days because the up days were so big as well.
Yeah, man,
So
I
you
mean-
get 3-4% pullbacks on the Nasdaq, but God,
It's
hindsight,
but it's
those
just like
bought
yeah, it's like but
opportunities galore.
yeah, exactly right. Like it's crazy.
But they were big
David,
pullbacks,
thing,
so you
man.
could kind of, I guess, sympathize a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, if you weren't gung ho every single time to be hitting the buy button
was
like
a-
hand over fist, because they were. I remember that specifically because that's really when I started trading every day.
Was
Yeah, I started trading
during COVID?
before COVID hit. August, September 2019.
Wow.
Yeah, and then March
This is-
obviously was the month that brought all the
This is when I started, literally. This is
What was that?
the January 2022 is when I
So
went
you were
full-time.
you were the
I
meme
did-
craze. That was the
yeah,
meme.
yeah, exactly. And,
Nice.
and I was still very green at that point, but I was like, okay, is this what the market is? Like a year of this straight to the downside
said.
after this going in there. But then this is crazy, right? Like from where this is a 4-year run that we're currently on. And you just buy every dip. We did our example of just like, look at how everything is correlating. You make tops, they come back into bottoms. But that wasn't the case so far with this one. You barely get there, and you only experience about a 12% pullback in the NASDAQ. And if you weren't like, oh, yeah, I'm buying on the way down, then you just missed out on a good opportunity, I believe. Trend's broken, and you have the SPY and the Dow at all-time highs. What's the
Oh, here we go.
IWM doing?
Watch out here. AMIX.
Almost there. Yeah, I got my eyes
Watch
on
out,
it as
yeah.
well too. But this might be going for a test
Yep.
of the high of the day as well too, Sharif. As long as KC says that it's going to put in some more work, then I believe that it has the ability to do so.
All right, man. Continuing to watch here. Local selling in the mid to high 60s, looking for a 75 break and take. 989 HOD. Now, you know that 989, I'm not saying it's going to be as good as it gets. In fact, it doesn't feel like that. But, you know, when we say $10 incoming, I generally do mean the $10 area. Now, that could be 989, that could be 1015, could be 1025, right? So 65 seller here, continuing to watch the level 2, nothing for me to do other than just keep my hands on the key. 65 seller again, options, man. Look, a 75, here we go, 80s. Breakout could be on now into 10. Watch for a pullback and a hold. Look for a low 70s, high 60s hold here. 76 buyer, 60. I just saw 60s flash there momentarily. Let's try this. What do we got there? 79s, okay. Looking for 88s. Gonna stop out, I think, below the $0.50. Can't give this too much room, so we'll throw that on. 78 seller, big seller at 78 options. Man, we can't shake that seller. Now they're selling into 75. Watch out, 80s, 88s, Rip City into the 90s. Let's go 1005. Let's go 1005. We're looking for a break and take here, options, man, of that $10 area. Big seller into the 90s. Come on, bro. Shake them. Nope, not at the moment. Can't shake the seller here. So continuing to watch, 95 seller coming in. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the exact same thing. Yeah, I mean, it seems to be the case. Gavzor looking pretty
Get
good
it,
right
Gavzor.
now. Yeah, Gavzor, he's doing his thing now. $10 definitely was in play there. And as soon as we turned around, you can see that the previous structure helped hold here, $9, and then off to the races it goes. So another big one, another 5-figure day, homies. Trav, man, brother. Keep doing. Oh, holy cow. That was
my
insane.
Lanta,
Yeah,
1052 limit up.
holy, they're-
1052 limit up. Let's
Whoever
go, man.
was on the short side is eliminated.
They killed him. 1071
gone.
limit up.
It's gone. He's
It's
gone.
changing, Joey.
Holy cow.
1071. That ends the trade for me here.
Wow.
Boom into the freaking high.
Into the Halt.
Boom
Into
on
the Halt.
AMIX, bro. What a beauty this one is today. Rip City. Rip City. Oh my Lanta. 62.5 million shares. We are up 200%, minus 7%. Into the high and into the Halt we go. Joseph, man. Unreal.
Yeah.
Where do I find these stocks? Colleen likes.
The scanner.
Great question, Colleen.
Oh, wow. It's like that,
Oh,
KC. That's
knew she was gonna-
crazy.
We know she's printing, bro. Thank you very much, KC520 frickin' 6. As always, let's call out who got. Then I want to answer Colleen's questions. Ryan Kirk, Ali K, Certified Trading BDH Master, Prakhar, Andy C, Rajesh, Trackstar, Assassino, bro. Killing me today, bro. Expansi Obi Akmas. Sorry, man. I apologize for butchering that. Okay. Who else? Daniel on Broadway. And then Ridhi Joshani. All you guys got a free Trader TV Live membership courtesy of one of the most excellent small cap traders in the game, Casey526. Thank you very much, Case. You're not stuck in the hole, Zen Zombie. You're fine, baby. The tap's showing 1080, baby. And Lele, she's dropping another 5 in the chat. It is raining Membies. Thank you very much, Lele. Don't call her Leanne. Her name is Leandra. Who got? Sleep Dog 69. Brother, you got one. Anthony Cago. Who else? We got TradeX Freedom, Jordan Price, and Demianda. All you guys got free.
Yeah, man.
Trader TV Live memberships. Udabong.
He is.
Thank you very much, David, for the shout out to Case. Thank you very much for everybody as always, guys. Thank you guys. Can't put a price on education you give us. Shout out to M. Mason, man. You dropping 5 nice ones there in the chat and a kind comment. I do like that.
I am, Micron Millionaire. I kid you not. I actually am. I kid you not. I kid you not. But see, that's the thing. I have to talk to Ramin. I have to talk to Ramin before we give those a shout out there. We're going to give some more attention. I have to figure out how I can personally select who I'm going to give them to. Oh, my days.
It's just raining Membies.
They're flowing.
It's raining
They're flowing. Yeah,
right
it's
now.
over. Casey says we owe her dinner at the very... I'm like, Casey, that's the least we owe you is dinner. How about, like, just an all-around experience in the city of Toronto on your boys here. But yeah, Adam James, 5 membership. Shreve, did you want to give them a shout out?
Bro, there's so many here.
And then we got another 5 cent by WizKid. Oh,
David dropped 5 membies.
Matt from Tinder.
Tinder, I love that.
Tinder.
Another 5 membies.
Man.
Adam James Abroad, another 5 membies, man.
Flowing.
It's just raining in here, man.
Crazy.
It's beautiful, guys. We love you guys, man. Thank you for staying active with Joseph and I.
Yeah.
Ben
another. Man.
He signed up, man. Wow, the chat's lighting up here, Joey.
Yeah. Crazy.
But I do want to take the opportunity to show exactly how we find these gappers every day.
Man.
So let's do it. We're going to do it live, Joey. So this is a scanner. And the scanner can be whatever you want it to be, right? And here's what I mean by that. So let's just go ahead and show over here. So look at this. I know it's really small, but you can zoom in on YouTube. Top percentage gainers, top percentage losers, volume, halted, contracts by price, trade count, trade rate, the list of different variables that you can use in your scanner is, there's a lot, okay? The one that I use, and it may be named differently on your platform, is top percentage gainers. That essentially shows me which names are up the most percentage-wise on the day, okay? And I only have 2 filters for my scanner, a price filter and a volume filter. I filter everything below 25 pennies, and I filter everything that's traded below 1 million shares. And the reason I do that is because I start trading at 11. So the million shares thing would probably be a little bit lower if I was trading in the pre-market. So these are personal choices. You don't have to follow them. But I filter by price and by volume. And I'm just using the default gap scanner. Now, having said that, I do have some columns in here that I want to bring into your attention. So let's show exactly that. First and foremost, you're going to see, just the financial instrument, the price. But here's where it gets interesting. So you have three different percentage columns. You have change percentage since open, and gap percentage. The change percentage is essentially from 4 a.m. to current. Change percentage since open, is from 9:30. It's open, guys. AMIX is open. It's dropping a little bit into 1046, and it ripped up into 1090. Be careful here. I'm just going to finish what I said, what I'm saying. So change percentage since open, it populates from 9:30 on. The reason I have both those columns in there is because I want to know if this is green or red since the open. And then you have gap percentage, which shows you what the percentage is from the closing price from yesterday, what percentage is gapping up. But then you have different columns as well. I have prior close, volume, average volume, and then short-term 5-minute volume. So the prior close just gives me an idea of what this one closed at. Prior volume, obviously, I need to know how much volume this is doing. But the average volume and the short-term volume, this thing's ripping up.
It is going, man. We got a lot of stuff flowing in too, Sharif.
I'm just going to finish what I have to say, and then we can go on, okay? So average volume is super interesting because this is our vol. So I want to see what...
sorry. It's great.
I'm almost
it's
done, bro. I
crazy.
promise you, I'm almost done. Right? Average volume is interesting because it shows you what you're doing relative volume on the day. So 3 million shares for ADGM, but it typically does only 239,000. So it gives me an idea that this one is very much oversubscribed. Maybe I want to jump into that. And then the shortable shares. The only reason I keep that on there is to see if it's easy to borrow. Sometimes when it's easy to borrow, it does become a bit of a thicker trade. But as you can see on AMIX, that's empty. You cannot borrow shares here, at least on my platform. I know my platform is not, the end all and be all, but it gives me an idea. And last but not least, the spread. I have the column at the end there. It gives me an idea of what kind of spread I'm going to be getting into before I even start trading this one. And with that, take it over, Joey. What do we got?
I mean, we had more memberships rolling in here. Ben Affleck with $5. Lele, our girl. We want to keep the momentum flowing here. Sharif and Joey, bag of donuts. Maybe we'll convert that to eggs, maybe. I love you guys. I am up 1K in 2 hours. I am done for the day. See you later. That's what trading is about, man. Get your money.
Green, get out.
And get out of Dodge and just go enjoy the day or go do something constructive. I'm not saying that trading necessarily isn't, but it can be taxing at times. And if you have the ability to just get your money and run, by all means, continue to do so. But yeah, some big time movements here in AMIX. Continuing to move here, guys. So some fantastic stuff. Yes, Don Backlog. Make sure you guys hit the... I haven't even seen how many viewers we have here today, but it's been a roller coaster without any question. We were in this at 888. Ooh, okay, that triple eights there. And then all the way up to 1183, but we were out at $10 there, ladies and gentlemen. But do your boy, not for me, but do it for Sharif and Sia and Adara. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe. And let's just try to hit a record number of likes today. I think that'd be a good opportunity. We like breaking records, so let's do it, man. Why not today? And it's not even Friday, as mentioned in the chat.
You ain't got no job.
You ain't got nothing. Well, I hope you have a job.
You do.
Yeah, well, there you go. No job.
We're having a good time right now, man.
AI can't take your job as if you don't have one, my boy. So that's.
You know, why would you say that?
What do you mean it's true? It's just not, is it not?
1050 buyer. 1050 buyer keep showing up.
Oh, no, this is my boy. Oh, they keep flying in. Shut it down.
Shut down the show, Joey.
It's over. We
Shut
can't.
down the show, bro.
We honestly can't even do it. We can't because it's rolling. Joey, options, my boy. Listen, this guy is a real one, man.
I love that.
Yeah, Trapman for real, my boy Gorab. Joey Options. I appreciate everything this channel is about, the community, the host, everything. This guy is for real. Pay it forward. Donating 10K to my church this weekend. Praise God. And thank you for all the input. Yes, sir. You must contribute to don't watch the Drewski skit on that. But other than that, yes, sir. To the Most High, you must pay it forward without any question.
Well said, man.
Nice work, brother. I couldn't be happier for you. You told me you're printing up absolute storms, and I know your contract strategy. It's been absolutely parabolic and monstrous for you here over the past couple of weeks, man. And listen, I love seeing you guys absolutely print up storms, man. It's like, what else would we want to do, man? Stick it to the man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly, right? No, but seriously,
stick it to the man. And Dave, samesies, 5 memberships. Man, this guy's donated at least 15 memberships here today. Correct me if I'm wrong.
And Joey,
but what's
tell
up,
everybody,
brother?
You did a little research yesterday. In fact, Joseph and I had no idea how much these donated memberships actually cost in real life. Joseph did a little bit of homework yesterday, and they're quite pricey. So thank you guys very much.
Yeah,
And
they
we really
are very
do
much
mean that,
pricey.
man.
Yeah,
We really
yeah,
do mean that.
absolutely, man. If
I had
that's-
no idea how much it cost.
Yeah,
to be
well, I
honest with you.
mean,
I just didn't, right?
I'm gonna find
So,
out very
we
soon.
love you
I think
guys, man.
We gotta pay it forward as well too. So I told you guys, don't worry. Next week we got something rolling for you guys. So make sure you stay tuned. As soon as you know how they do it on the radio. As soon as you hear this song come up, make sure you got As soon as you hear the Stone Cold Steve Austin, make sure you guys tune in and check it out because your boy is going to be giving back to everyone in the chat. Yeah, it's exciting. See, I gotta talk to Ramin because I want to select who I want to give the membership to. Because you know what, we don't want it, the bad apples. I don't know
What's
about
wrong?
you. There's very few of them, but you know what happens to bad apples?
What happens, Joey? They go back. They fall off the tree. Or
They
something?
rot, my friend. They rot. There it
Ripping
goes.
up, man. We're in at
$12.
11.19. There it goes into 89, man. We're doing it again. Let's see if we can get to 12. There's 11.90 options, man. Oh,
Holy
my
schmoly.
Lanta. Into the high of the day we go, 11.98. I was looking for the break above the $0.25, and boy, did it rip. Good entry there at 11. Right into 12 we go. It is 11.98 high. Guys, I think, if we hold this 11 area and we start talking 12, then I'm going to start saying 15, right? Have we moved above $10 by enough of an amount so we can say, 10 support here? We're going to keep watching. 11.98 high, finding support at the $0.25. What a move today. Loving AIMX, dropping below 11 right now, though. Let's take a little bit of a breather. Let's send it up to Sia.
That was an action-packed hour. That was action-packed, man. We're gonna have
what a
I don't know
day,
about you, man,
bro.
but I'm gonna have an
What a
adrenaline
day.
dump here momentarily. We might have to fire it up an espresso or something.
Bro, okay. I like that. I like that, guys. All right, man.
Pauline Light.
Shout out to Tuber, my very first trades. We love hearing it. Just before we send
yeah.
it off, Joe, Sharif from Don Baca, YouTube actually takes 30% from the super chats, but not from the memberships. Love to hear that, man. Love to hear that. And I'd rather you guys actually give memberships so that, we have a very active community.
Layla, you're absolutely right. So I used to have apple trees at my old house, and all the rotten ones, when they'd fall, the bees would just get all drunk, and the wasps get all drunk off of the fermented apples.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And they're just
Hold on, what do
really
they do when they're
They're just hovering around, and they won't bother you, right? They'll just be like.
So is it similar like when you put smoke around bees, like to calm them down?
No, they're intoxicated. I believe.
They're actually intoxicated.
Yeah, they're
That's
intoxicated.
crazy. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Great information there. It's not
MPD.
just trading information you get on,
apparently
Trader
not,
TV
man.
Live. So we
get the
also
likes
tell you
up.
about drunk bees.
And if you all, yeah, exactly. No, and if you don't listen to what Don Baca says in the chat, then I don't know what else we can really do for you.
Shout out to Don Baca. All right, guys. See us at the big desk with happening now. Neil's lesson of the day is coming up.
Let's take a look at what the markets are doing at the moment. You have the SPY that's currently up 1.4%. The triple Qs are up way over 2.5%, inching close to 3% on the day. You have the Dow that's up over 1.5%. And finally, the IWM that's also up 1.5%. So we did have McDonald's that reported that we're going to take a look at really shortly. Just really briefly, we'll get into it in the news segment, much in depth. So the company reported an EPS of $3.38 adjusted versus $3.34 that was expected, and revenue was a miss that came in at $7.10 billion versus the expected number at $7.13 billion. Now, pertaining to that, according to Citi, McDonald's latest earnings should provide a near-term rebound for the stock. Analyst of the company, John Tower, said in a note that, quote-unquote, the inline U.S. or IOM, that's international operated markets, comps should offer enough evidence to investors that the company's top-line efforts can work to cut through ongoing inflationary pressures on their core guests. And he has now maintained a buy rating on the stock. He has also said that the appointment of Sky Anderson to president of the U.S. business signals McDonald's is not pleased with the results in the business. Also, on a side note, Bard has maintained a buy note on it as well. We have Midday that is up on the day, 1.2%. But before we go back to the show, Neil, please tell us your lesson for the day.
Thank you, Sia. And you know what? Let's give an assist to AMIX. I don't even know what the name of this thing is, Joe, but it is going absolutely ham. And I think, a lot of times you'll hear us say things like, for gappers and for small cappers, you got to be trading in the pre-market because the pre-market might be your best opportunities out there. But you know what? Do not sleep when volume sticks around. I think that's one of those. Like I look over at like NVIDIA this morning and some of the names that were disappointing, that just didn't get going, and you had to give them a chance, and eventually they gave you the move that you wanted, or maybe IBIT was a little bit late to the party, but then eventually it got going. SMCI, a lot of names that weren't participating in that crazy rally we had off the open, but you had to give them time. But what's amazing about this one, and why I'm like, this has to be the lesson of the day, is look at how it just continues. It holds the higher lows. And the volume on this. We always talk about volume being an important indicator. You're going to have your spikes. Like 9:30, you're going to get your spikes. You're going to have your spikes. But it just maintains volume. And look at how when it depresses in volume, you basically get higher lows on the drawdown in volume. And you can see like some of these other peaks, like it's holding on at a time when you expect a small capper not to be as good. When it hasn't broke the top, hasn't given you a secondary move, but volume's not in a very clear downtrend. It's actually holding on after those peaks. And of course, when it does do a clean double top break, you're off to the races. It just comes down to not writing things off. If you have a strategy, and sometimes I know you're expecting these to give you their best opportunities in the morning, or maybe in the first a few minutes of the day or in the pre-market, but if you hang around and wait, because the parameters are still there, maybe it's still holding an upward trend, maybe it's a moving average, maybe it's a relative volume, whatever it might be, as long as those things are still true, then you wait and you give it a chance. It could be I'm waiting for the breakout. It could be the second it goes to an up halt, and you might wait all day. But as long as it's still flashing the signs or flashing the signals, then you should give it every single opportunity. I'll give you another one here with IBIT. Like that breakout, it just hasn't been clean. But if you look at it, hey man, it's still upward trending. It hasn't held VWAP clean, but it's putting in higher lows and it's holding an upper channel. And it's still trying to do some battle above the prior high. So it's one of those I'm not going to get away from it. I'll get out if it shows it's failing the break, but it's still very much in the pocket. So you don't give up. You just wait for the next opportunity on it as long as it still holds the pattern. So again, I have no idea what this AMIX is, but think about it. If you just wrote this one off, oh, it's not doing anything, it's going sideways, and you're a small cap trader, then you miss out on a 50%, and that's if you're late to the move at like $8. It could be your best trade of the day. All you have to do is stay with it as volume holds on. And that's the key. It's making higher lows. Sure, it hasn't made a fresh high since 9:30 when it failed, but you've got volume going with it, so you don't give up. It's the same thing with an upward channel. If you like a stock long and it's holding an upward channel, then you want to be able to continue to look for that continuation and take some shots at it because it fits your plan and fits your parameters. And for the small cappers, sometimes it's 1:30. I've seen these things do nothing after a good pre-market, and then like 1:30, 2 o'clock, they can start to pick up. And it really is a patience game because with these, you're probably just trying to hit one if we're real about it. You could trade 5 or 6 of these. You really just need one of them to go. And if that's the case, you can't throw away a good potential one just because it's not absolutely perfect. You got to keep it on the window. Like Sharif will say, I'm leaving these ones on my stock window. So this one no longer fits a parameter, so it's going. Even if he's not in it, you always see the same names that are going to be in that pocket for the next available potential trade. And then when you get one, just make sure you bank on it. I usually give a bit of a reference as to how the lunch is gone. It's like a rice and chicken, kind of like a basic like teriyaki chicken with rice and then little mixed vegetables. Solid, if unspectacular, but we'll take it. Rice, little sticky rice action. So I'll give it like a 6.8, not bad. It's a pretty solid one, but we'll throw you guys back over to the midday as, the administration preparing to set a price floor, tariffs on imports of polysilicon and derivative products used in chips and solar panels. Man, just more tariffs and more tit-for-tat trade talk seems to be part of the discourse right now. So it doesn't seem to be hurting the market whatsoever. You can't stop the NASDAQ today.
It's actually helping certain names here, this story. So as Neil mentioned there, we'll pull up Enphase here and FSLR for you guys. As you guys can see, some of these solar names did move on this. Trump administration, according to Reuters, is preparing that price floor and new tariffs on polysilicon and related products set to be released later this month. Apparently, they're specifically trying to protect some U.S. producers from growing competition in China and also strengthen domestic change for solar panels, semiconductors, AI, and energy. As such, solar names did get a little bit of a move to the upside as we move over to Sharif and Joe on the midday.
VinFast has reported strong Q2 momentum, delivering more than 70,000 EVs globally. That is up 96% year over year. And the first half of deliveries reached nearly 129,000 vehicles, up 78%. And that reinforces the company's growth trajectory across its expanding EV portfolio. By mid-year, though, VinFast had already achieved approximately 43% of both its 2026 4W and 2W delivery targets, putting the company firmly on track across both growth engines. Shout out to VFS, who, by the way, still at Yorkdale Mall.
Still at Yorkdale Mall, surprisingly so. All right, there's actually a couple of things that I want to bring up here. And I mean, shout out to Captain Obvious himself. But no, I just found this out here. So if everyone, perfect. Okay, that's pretty cool. Thanks for. Okay, all right, very interesting.
Good, I did it well then.
Yeah, exactly. So good stuff. Or maybe we should. Anyway,
go ahead.
Aside from that, guys, this. I mean, as obvious it may be, for my knowledge now, so everyone in the chat I've seen is asking for a membership, all right? Well, it's actually pretty simple in how you're gonna get one. It's all about activity and how often you're on the channel, hitting the like, and how active you are in the chat. So if you're one of the more active individuals, your probability of getting a membership increase. So everyone who's looking to get one, get there in the chat now. Make sure you hit this like and subscribe. I mean, we're only sitting on 412. That's not even 10% of the individuals walking right now. It's free to click this. Like,
you have the option to like and subscribe. This trade has unlimited upside.
Get it, Joey.
Exactly. So guys, just make sure you hit that like and I'll do a refresh right now. We need to get that to at least 1,000. Make sure you hop in the chat and participate constructively as well too. And then by all means, you're going to be increasing your chances to get that membership, ladies and gentlemen. Sharif, I know you got something good.
I didn't get in there, but I'm kind of happy I didn't get in. That was a topping tail candle from hell into 1244, bleeding into 1163. I was trying to actually take the breakout there. Oh boy, 1150, 1145, 1136, 1092 limit down. Defending here though. Guys, this is putting in a lot of topping tail candles. This might be ready to turn. $11 now showing up. 1062 limit down. Oh no, Joey, 1085, 1076. Okay, continuing to watch. I'm not punching in here. Okay, I'm not gonna be dip trading down here. Sorry, the flies. There's so many flies. Because we have so much construction. 1062 limit down. There is a buyer though here at $11, at least for the moment, keeping us afloat above that level. I don't want to pick it up here. So I just see here. This is what I want to show. I want to bring in the side charts here. I don't like this pattern. This right here. I don't want to open up the charts because it's going to freeze. Okay, but I'm not a big fan of this pattern where it has higher wick, higher wick, higher wick, and the body is, just a very, very small part of the candle. That's not my favorite pattern. It feels like it's ready to break down. Now, you'll kind of know with the 1215 candle, when this 1210 candle closes, if the 1215 candle has a lower high, then we're setting up what I perceive to be kind of that rounding at the top before we sell off. Now, I could be completely wrong, especially if a big buyer steps in. But I'm steering clear at the moment of AMIX. But I am keeping a close eye here on ADGM. I do want you guys to exercise caution getting into ADGM. And I don't mean to, poop on your parade, so to speak, but this is the pattern that we have been talking a lot about where it bull traps you, right? A very prolonged downtrend ever since we put in the high of the day at 1045. That's $11.11. It has been putting in an umpteen amount of lower highs, finds support at VWAP, good news, and then it breaks out again. It makes you feel like it's going to round, head back to the dollar. What often happens, though, and doesn't mean it's going to happen every time, but what does often happen is this candle here the 1210 candle will end up being a lower high, maybe into 95, maybe into 97.5, whatever. And then the subsequent candle will fail that bull trap candle low. And then you'll probably lose VWAP after that. Maybe you'll straddle it. Who knows? But I'm not going to get in on ADGM until I see a lot more. Keep your eye out on that. I did want to warn you guys about this kind of bull trap pattern that we've been seeing a lot more in small cap gapper world. But for now, we're going to send you up to Adara with news. Interesting
look here in Uber ahead of its earnings report for Q2. Going to be released tomorrow morning. So UBE are still below this local resistance level that we're seeing today and over the last couple of days of that 71, 75 or so level. But basically, about an hour ago now, Jensen Huang, CEO of NVIDIA, announces the launch of Alpamayo 2 Super, which is NVIDIA's frontier open reasoning model for AVs, autonomous vehicles. Now, a couple of minutes ago, Dara Khosrowshahi, who is the CEO of Uber, posts in response to Jensen, quote, great progress, V excited to be partnering with NVIDIA here. So sounds like Uber's partnering with NVIDIA on this autonomous vehicle frontier model. UBER, as mentioned, not moving much on this at all, but potentially worth noting, especially if we get above that 71, 75 resistance level. Back to you.
All right, Corey B, they're flowing in here today. Corey B, man. Corey B77, thank you very much for gifting 5 memberships. Slick received one. Rochelle received one. Jill276 received one. Gio Karsh, I'm not going to try to pronounce that, received one. Peter Paul Kong Jr. received one. So congratulations all to you. Shreve's been over it multiple times. Just go and check out the YouTube page and you'll be able to find exactly what you are going to be receiving. Now, it seems to be that the play of the day here for a lot of us, even in the chat, well, Shreve and I should speak for, 216% to the top side, some nice moves. He keeps scalping in and out of it, some beauty stuff. As I do believe at this point, we could squeeze a little bit higher. Where's Adam James? I haven't seen him booming in the chat here today too much.
He's probably taking his money and booked it.
He's gone. He's already got the pizza on the way. So he's. We can't do that. Don't do that, please. Back-to-back pizza days is crazy.
Yeah, straight up.
Pineapple pizza.
And the Ram treats yesterday.
It's our boy,
bro.
you know what?
Fantastic.
Chester. Yeah, Chester.
You like how we both do, huh?
Yeah.
You had to get that one right this time, Joey.
Our boy Chester. But no, in all seriousness, guys, keep an eye out on this one. Be cautious. I know we're having a lot of fun, but I think it's really important for you guys over there to understand that. Don't feel FOMO. Be patient. Wait for that precise entry because you don't want to mess up something here today that could give you a good opportunity, and then next thing you know, you're like, oh, I wish I didn't do that today.
Hey, you had a bunch, you were up big, and then you give back some of it, maybe all of it, maybe you go negative.
Do what Lele did. Okay, if you've made whatever substantial amount to you may be, or
she's
a
up
good
a
day.
K, my guy.
Yeah, so I mean, by all means, like go
enjoy
the day, right? It's a beautiful one here in the city of Toronto, from what I'm aware of this morning. And sure enough, Hangry Wife is in the chat as well too. So wherever you are, if it's nice, go do something constructive. I think, in my opinion.
Yeah. Or like there could be other trades as well.
Oh, no,
keep you guys apprised of anything that comes up, and keep us apprised as well. Should there
absolutely
be one that moseys on up into the scanner there that we haven't mentioned. But I also want to say what Case says often in the chat. Get green and get out, right?
Yeah, man.
So it doesn't. There's no requirement that you're at your desk for X amount of hours per day. The idea is to make money and hold on to the money, right? So. All right, guys. I'm not liking AMIX at the moment here, so I'm steering clear. We've had a bunch of trades on this one. Very pleased, but we have a current lower high on the 5-minute setup, so I just steer clear here. Now, there are trades to be had, defending 11, this, that, and the other. I'm not going to participate in any of those trades at the moment until I see substantially more. It's a 1244 high, and we're dipping down into 1150 here. We've got a lower high. We don't necessarily have a lower low on the 5-minute chart, but we're going to keep tabs on that. There is an 11 buyer generally, but I just want to give you the range for the prior candle. Okay, so the prior candle high is 1244. That is a high of the day, but it also has a low of 1075. So if 11 loses and then 1075 goes, mamma mia, we could be heading back to 10, if not more, 8 possibly. We'll have to wait and see, of course. It's just we're kind of making predictions, I should say, at this point. From now, though, we're going to send you up to Sia for the small cap recap.
The IWM up steadily, 1.5% on the day. Let's take a look at 3 tickers here. First of all, CVNA Caravana. Price target for Caravana has been maintained with an $87 per share by BTIG. The ticker is up 3.3%. You have HIMS, that's Hims and Hers. That's up almost 3% on the day. Earnings revenue estimates is set to announce It's set to announce Q2 results on the 10th of August post-market, and revenue estimate for the same currently stands at $698.9 million. Finally, we're going to take a look at RUN. Sunrun is up 3.5% on the day, set to announce its second quarter results post-market on the 5th of August. That is tomorrow. Revenue estimate currently stands at $746.87 million, and EPS anticipated at 32 cents per share.
Thank you very much, Sia, for that. We just dipped pretty aggressively there through 11. Watch out for the loss of 1079 on 75, pardon me, on AMIX. What a move down. I wanted to mention TE is breaking out. Casey and a couple of you guys have been talking about TE. It's not strictly a small cap gapper, of course, $1.5 billion market cap, but it just got to 540 on the day. Nice flat top breakout through my favorite number, 525, flat top break into 540. Looking pretty good here on TE. Keep your eye out on that. I also want to mention Gotham House here. Sharif, I bought AMIX long time ago at $21. Can you look at the long-term chart and see if there's any technical potential for it to get back there, or should I eat the loss now? It's actually an astute point here, because I mean where were we before this, right? Like, where did we hang out yesterday? What was the closing print? Let me just take a look. We were at 375, so yeah, 1244 high. Let's look at the daily. Sorry guys, the charts today, you know, they're a finicky bunch, but as soon as this chart does load, I promise you I will give you my my unadulterated opinion. But my opinion at the moment on the intraday trade is it doesn't look good. Be careful. All right, here it is. Look, man, this doesn't look good. Cut your losses. It could be a multi-day runner. It may not be. Okay, I mean, there's no way for me to know. This could revert back, right, into 7, 8, ends up being a monster topping tail candle. God knows it's done it before. Take a look at that. What happened on 7/29? I'm talking months and days here. Look, 7/13. Again, 5/19. How many days do we need to see topping tail revert back? How about 12/30, December 30th of last year? And then this one, monster move up. I'm assuming this is where you got in here, because that's the last time I think it was at 22. Gotham House looks like November 17th of last year, ripped up into about $32. I hate to sound like a Debbie Downer, man, but it's just, you know, the trend is what it is. Now, if you get a multi-day runner, good on you. But if it were me, I'd take the 50% haircut and call it a day. Because yesterday you were at like $3-4. So let me know how it goes, brother. I hope you print and you're doing well on the intraday trade, or however you've structured this. But get it. Hope you know. To me, I would just take the L. It's easy for me to say because it's not my money, but I'm giving you my honest opinion here. I would take the L and just move on, right? What do you think about that? You know, hodling a small cap gapper pops up, you know, 200% on the day. You get the hell out, or you hold for a multi-day?
Man, if anybody should speak on that, I think it's you, brother.
Brother, I've never held a small cap gapper.
There you go, right? And I think when you have such a strong narrative amongst the individuals who trade this stuff, like, again, you're going on a nice run here. If you're big, or I mean, they said their average was $21 or something along those lines.
Yeah, same thing.
Along those lines. Yeah. Listen, this thing was $2 a couple of days ago. You've cut your losses in half.
Well said.
Again, not financial advice, but the chances of this thing going is there, right? There's always a chance that these moves can happen. But you also, at this point, I think you just want to put in some form of a trail stop, or just allow yourself, like, all right, this is it. This is all I'm willing to lose or continue to lose on this, and then get out and then leave some for a runner. I think that's the best advice I could give you, right?
Just before we go to Adaro,
yeah, absolutely.
ADGM is breaking out here, guys. Just be careful with this. Okay, if it doesn't clear and hold above the dollar, it could be a fail. But hey, it's making a move. It's proven me wrong. I always think this is going to be a bull trap. It's moved up into 95. It just flashed 96. 305 million shares traded on the day. It's up 108%. Traded carefully below the dollar. Let's go up to Adair.
Keep an eye here on LMT and some of these U.S. materials, minerals plays. We'll get to those in a minute. But the story here is a report that Lockheed Martin is seeking U.S. mineral supplies following a Trump administration push towards supply chain or U.S. supply chain. So LMT on watch, but the bigger mover here is going to be USAR. USA rare earth sharply to the upside. Keep an eye on CRML, also pushing a little bit higher. TMC slightly pushed to the upside, and you've got MP pushing higher. MP, TMC, and USAR, I believe all three of those actually at session high. So good look there. Again, reports that Lockheed Martin is seeking U.S. mineral supplies following a supply chain push from the Trump administration. Back to you.
Licky, honestly, you know I have the utmost of respect for you, but brother, the gentleman all the gentlemen that, next to me, I think, would have some form of agreement on this. Hold on, let me finish it. A professional small cap holder here, as long as it doesn't reverse split, it'll eventually go back up.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. But why don't we ask multiple companies this? Like, you have to take into consideration, like, what all these CRM holders, Bitcoin, when it comes to the quantum space, what's another name? Nike, for instance. I would love to think that that was the narrative, but this market, like the financial market, will show you a completely different side. And if you think that things have to go back up, man, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. It doesn't mean like things can just go absolutely away. So let me put it to you this way, right? Like, again, this is 5 years, a half of a decade. You're down 77% off of the all-time high. And says who does this have to go back up? And I mean, how long are you willing to wait? Because sometimes that's how long things go out of play for. It's 5 years that Nike hasn't seen an all-time high. And I don't know if it does ever again.
Look, I think it's a great time to show what Luis has taught you and I, right? These are companies that are bid non-compliant, as Luis would call them. Essentially, they've got the ding, the letter from the exchange saying, bad boy, bring your price up. And AMIX is not one of them, but ADGM is. So there it is right there, deficiency bid price. Here's when they got the notification, the 12th of June of last year. And why am I showing you bid non-compliant companies? Because they're more likely to reverse split to get that bid or the price of their stock above $1, right? There's only so many times they can do that before the market makes them pay. And usually when they do, the market does make them pay. But that's one of the things that you should be looking at. You know, if you are looking to swing a small cap stock, first find out if it's bid non-compliant. That way you can kind of make an educated guess as to whether this is more likely or less likely to reverse split, you know, in the over or the next morning or whatever, right? So make sure you're getting that. It's super simple. It's just go to the NASDAQ non-compliant companies. There's a whole list here. You can. It's. I don't think you can. You can search all of them at once. There's 19 pages, but I'm pretty sure you can download the entire thing. Let's see. Yes, there's the PDF. Oh, that's my PDF right there, my boy. Why did it do that? Oh. Hold on, Joey. Download. Ah, there it is. Oh, it's a doc file? Oh, here it is. Oh, it's opening it up in Visual Basic. Okay, no, we want to close that. Anyway, the point is you can find the information here. If you can't see the company, just obviously go to the next slide there and let me know how it goes. Thanks for that, guys. Continuing to watch ADGM. It's failing the dollar at the moment. Got back into the dollar, dropping into 93 now. I think that there is a good chance this might hit 88 or 90. If it is, I think I might step in there with a tight stop below 85. So let's see what it does. ADGM got back into the buck, but didn't have enough juice to kind of take out that level. So we'll continue to watch that. Nothing doing here on AMIX. We're still putting in generally lower highs. We're holding 10.5, but I'm not going to participate in this trade at the moment. It's not bad. It's still, you know, hanging out near highs. But if you can catch a bid, take out highs, then we can have a conversation. But I'm not going to bottom pick for now. Yeah, not much else going on here, Joey. Webcoin says NUWE. I know that one was running in the morning. Let's look at NUWE. We'll flip to the 5 over here. Sorry if the charts act up today, guys. I do apologize. Yeah, this one's still trading below VWAP, brother. 206. It really had its move there. I remember Neil calling this one out early on. It lost VWAP and now kind of is holding structure, but from the short side. So it looked like it had some general support here at 2, zigging and zagging, and now it looks like it's using resistance at 2. However, there is an ascending wedge pattern forming with some higher lows, possibly a flat top breakthrough too. This one could price spike up 205, maybe even 215. Let's see. But for me, I do nothing on it at the moment. Continue to watch ADGM here, Joey.
Yeah.
Bleed its own blood right down to 88s. I think I'm going to give this one the old community college try. We're going to give it to about 85. I don't know, man. I don't even want to catch this going down, though. Watch it go up now, right? Because this is the shelf level. Like, look down to the bottom right of your screen where I'm doing that circle. Look at the shelf here. Multiple rejections at 87, 88, right? And so it comes back down. Does it hold the prior area resistance shelf? That's why I was thinking, you know, get long and then give it a couple of shekels to 85. But yeah, I don't have to do that. So I'm going to continue to watch.
I want to know if Walmart is in the Joe T ETF. I don't think it is.
Terra Nova? What has he got there?
Joey T.
Oh, is he talking about Oppenheimer downgraded
the downgrade
to
that we were
Mark?
talking about this morning. Yeah, and our boy Scotty Wapp as well too. He's on there.
I know you like that midday segment.
I love these guys. I love these guys.
You like that midday one specifically.
The midday.
You're always talking about the judge.
The judge, yeah, the judge JB, and we got Jim on there. We got Stephanie Link on there as well too.
Yeah, she's always on Morning Call with Morgan Brennan.
I know
too,
Adara is a big fan of Stephanie Link.
She's great, bro.
Yeah, I like, and our girl Becky Quick as well too. We like her.
She's all right.
Sorkin. You like Sorkin?
I've warmed up to Sorkin.
You've grown into Sorkin there. Yeah, same, to be honest. At times, yeah. But anyways, aside from that, guys, let's get into it. There's a lot moving here. We're going to head over to our watch list. And you know what? It's like we have to search for a needle in a haystack almost at this point to find any form of red, obviously being slightly sarcastic as we can see some. But the majority, I would say 95% of the market today seems to be green. I mean, within my watch list, I should say, per se. Now, anyways, NVDA, guys, up 1.7%, but this is SpaceX up 5 3/4. Breaking out. Someone mentioned this. I figured that we would talk about it a little bit here, leading into the much anticipated earnings report. Boy, oh boy, I think a lot of us are looking forward to this one. I mean, we love NVDA earnings report, but this might be that show that just takes over that Super Bowl quotation from NVDA, and I think this is the big teller in what we got going on, even though it's only a fraction of the market cap. But anyways, aside from that, guys, what we're going to do is use this example of the NVDA in a breakout. Now, you see this beautiful stair-step pattern? That can confirm the breakout, and you can see that it really starts to uptick as we punch through some key resistance zones. So that's looking fantastic there in SpaceX, especially leading into the report. I think it's really important. And then here's another name that's going to be after the bell, Advanced Micro Devices, all the way up to $524, ladies and gentlemen. You got a 20% pullback, and then that was like the market was like, okay, yeah, I mean, that's all we're going to give you here, at 30% even, and then off to the races it goes once again. I'm expecting a fantastic report regardless of how the street takes it from Lisa Su and company. Maybe not so much from SpaceX. I do believe they're going to be bleeding a lot of money. CapEx probably going to be up there as well too, and it all depends on how the street takes those numbers in. Now, as we move down our list, TSM up 2% today, Intel up 10%, ARM and Marvell putting in some strong rebound days here today, Sharif, 12 and 13%, 15 and 13% respectively, and then Palantir up a staggering 28%. So it's looking really good. ASML up 3%, Lam Research, and then also our boy AMAT 5 1/4. So strength stepping back in. SanDisk, the name that was cut in half not too long ago, putting in a 10% day. Absolutely fantastic, but we're used to seeing this. Do you still believe that this is at a discount? It could be, right? I mean, you're still down 40% off of that high. Give it some time to cool down. At some point, there will probably be another pullback in between us breaking higher. Downtrend is still fully intact. As you can see, we have multiple touches, but an open up on the backside of $1,500 might signal that we were ready to go before we send it over to Sia, what I actually want to do is head over to the Kospi, Sharif, because it's the fascination in what we had going on over there is I don't know how quick it's going to recover just due to the amount of individuals who are rinsed. Man, it's funny, but it's not funny because
the videos we saw.
Yeah, I know, man.
That's
but
why.
The thing is, dude, I was talking about this before all
give you credit, bro.
I was like, man, this is not going to end good, especially within an index where it gets cut in half.
You said that multiple times.
Multiple times in the span of a month. Like a month and a half, absolutely disastrous. It doesn't work when you're trading leveraged products. And then sure enough, look, we had that strong day, but outside of that, there hasn't been anything crazy. You have to wait for that new wave of participants to step in. And you know what happens, because we've seen it in the crypto space, and I don't like comparing to apples to oranges, but people get fearful and they're like, why would I ever partake in this ever again if I can lose all of my money in half of the time?
My sister, she invested a lot of money. During COVID, held into 22, gave up all the gains, never re-entered the market
people
again,
do that,
right?
bro. They're like, why would we do that?
I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to go into real estate, you know? I'm just going to deploy all my money, which I don't agree with, but, you know, it's her choice.
Yeah, absolutely. It's her choice. And I mean, I believe there's a lot of people on the other side. I think my cousin's fiance, same thing, got messed up in FTX. He's like, never again. Yeah. He's like, never again. A lot of people are like, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore, never again. Anyways, enough of us rambling on. Let's send it over to the desk.
The SPY is currently up 1.5%. Let's take a look at the sectors. Electric tech right off the bat. I'm seeing strength. NVIDIA, Apple both up over 1%. NVIDIA closer to 2%. Chip names are also strong. AMD is reporting after the bell today. 8% on the upside. MU up 8%, AVGO up 6%, INTC over 10%, Cisco up 4.2%, Dell up almost 10%, SNDK, good day, almost 11% on the day. With WDC, that's also up 5%, Qualcomm up 6.9%, almost 7%. Not a bad look for quite a lot of names over here in the electric tech sector. However, TDG is down 3.2% on the day. Tech services, you've Google and Microsoft that are also a bit towards the green, whereas Microsoft is up a slightly higher 1.7%. Meta is, however, down 1.5%. Oracle, you have up 4% on the day. Palantir, with its insane earnings report as of yesterday, is up 28% on the day. I'm going to give it a quick this for Palantir. Netflix currently trading towards the downside 0.90%, but you have PANW that's up almost 4% on the day, IBM up 2%, and CRWD that's up 3.5%, followed by, I always check this name, ACN that's super flat on the day, CRM up 1.9%. Finance, you have a bit flatness in BRKB and MasterCard, but you have a bit of strength in MSGS, WFC, Citi, and JPM, that's up 2.2%, and GS up 3.3%. Retail trade, Amazon is down 1.9%. We did have that news where Amazon selling a lot, dumping a lot of shares over there. That's down 1.9%. Walmart flat. Costco down 1.1%. Home Depot up 2.6%. TJX is flat. Moving on to producer manufacturing, you have CAT that is also reported. That's up 6.7%. Not a bad look at all for the earnings report for CAT today. AMAT, that's up 5.2%. LRCX up almost 7% on the day. And GEV is up 1.3% here. But one name of the sector, ROK, that's down sliding closer to 8% on the day. Consumer non-durables, you have a bit of bearishness in KO, PM, PEP, but PG is up 8%. Health Tech, Lilly not looking the worst today, but it's still a bit flat, but tilting towards the up 1% mark. J&J is flat today, but I'm going to check one name in the sector. That's IDXX, which is up 5.2%. WAT, that's up 6.3%. And Myrna, that's up 4.3% as well. Utilities is a bit of a mixed bag here. A lot of flattishness across the sector, as well as commercial services, distribution, industrial services as well. But transportation, one name that I do want to mention, is UAL. That's up over 3.5% on the day. And EXPD as well as CHRW up 4% on the day. Finally, communications, VZ, TMS, and T are all sliding a bit towards the downside, but you have Echo that is up 5.4% on the day.
Thank you, Sia. All right, Juan, you ready for this, brother?
Oh.
Vinicius Jr. update.
Yeah.
Okay. the meeting between Vinicius and Real Madrid scheduled for Wednesday. Okay. Apparently, though, Madrid have no intention of improving their latest contract renewal. And you and I know he wants a lot more of his image rights, right? He wants that Mbappe deal. He's not going to get it, right? Arsenal is offering him 100% of his image rights. So I think that that's a deal. Anyway, it goes on to say Vinicius is still asking for around 30 million per season, euros, not pounds, while Real Madrid's offer stands at 22 million per year. Now, it just won't be the contract. We have to get him on a transfer because he's still locked in. So how much do you think Real Madrid wants? Arsenal is planning 150 million euro transfer fee in addition to that 30 that they're going to offer him per year. So, man, I hope we get it. I had my qualms with Vinny earlier on. I think Arteta can probably, I don't know, I'm worried about the locker room. That's the thing, the cohesion. Bringing in a guy who has, you know, a little bit of a history of causing some problems off the field. So I think, you know, the pros and cons of this one maybe weigh a little bit more to the pros, especially with the outgoing names that we have. We have Martinelli likely about to go. He's going to get about 60 million. Trossard's already gone. So, yeah, we definitely need some wingers there, Joey.
Wingers?
We need wingers.
Yeah, we need a lot of things here in Toronto as well.
Did I just say 6'7"? Yeah, I did. Finder's fee, basically, says James Dell. That's a crazy statement. Yeah, 150 million euro finder fee. That'd be nice. I wouldn't mind that. Bro, what do you want? AMIX. Okay, so here AMIX is coming into 12. Calm down, Adam. That's how I knew that things were moving on AMIX because Adam's like, get that
right. He's right on you, yeah.
Yeah, we're watching here. So still lower highs generally, but I'm continuing to watch. $12 incoming on AMIX. Adam is of the opinion that this is bull flagging on the 5, and quite honestly, he's not wrong at all. In fact, he's quite right. And here comes $12 again, options man, with a big seller at 99. Can't shake the seller. Boom! Into the high. Limit
Holy
up.
cow.
264 limit up here. Fake halt it down into the 50s. Watch for a move back up here into 64. What a move. There goes AMIX. It's still 1264 limit up. We need to spend 10 seconds at this level. It's back, baby. Get it at him. Boom. Bovin, wherever you are, you're missing out. I'm going to message him right now, man. Be like, Bovin, what are you doing, bro? Leave the work. Come into this work. All right. So we're halted to the upside. 1264 limit price. Halt time.
That's
12:40:51. The earliest we'll be open is 12:45:51. Top 12:65:64. So basically the same area we would close. Get it, Tisha. Get it, Adam. Get it, everybody who's involved in AMIX. It's a gift that keeps on giving. And I think now we're looking at 15. So it's about how we work in. Let's be strategic about this, guys. Let's not give back the money we made on the day on AMIX. Let's see exactly how this one opens up. Joey is still showing 1264 tap.
Yeah, I got to get on the Wi-Fi here, man. Crazy. Anyways, aside from that, let's see what we got. We were talking about SpaceX not too long ago. The banks are really strong today. SanDisk putting in a session. Dave, we went over what was going on with some of the names in, obviously, SK Hynix and Samsung in South Korea and how that was definitely a major factor in what was going on in the Kospi. So, I mean, we got Juan covering that as well. I believe around 3:30 or so, he'll be pulling up. Robinhood, I thought people were saying Robinhood was weak today. Yeah, it did have an initial sell-off, but I mean, it's still up to over 2%, 2.5%. ONDS, Cyber, PanW, CrowdStrike up 3.4%, PanW up 2.8%, and Zscaler up 4.5% as well too. So it's been an absolute monster of a day. We're now halted. Top is 1270, Adam. So there you go on that one. We'll head over to our scanner, see where some of the volume stepping in. Noble Nordiques, 108 million shares traded on this bad boy today. So it's been an absolute monster and a rocket ship in Palantir, up a staggering to almost 29% at this point. We have even Intel up 10%. Man, oh man, some great stuff here across the board. Poor old Meta. I think this is going to be a good opportunity. We'll add some. But Gaurav, yeah, I'm going to be grabbing a little bit. Nothing substantial, to be honest with you. I think it's good to position yourself in front of some of the headwinds that is going on for this name. But until then, it's probably just going to be stuck moving sideways. A lot of volatility within it. But let's send it over to Adara.
Seeing some more here, guys, on Novo Nordisk earnings. NVO, we were expecting these tomorrow morning, but I guess they came out here after the European market closed. This thing is still dropping here. You had Q2 2026 adjusted sales at Danish kroner of 78.49 billion, adjusted operating profit at 33.39 billion DKK. That's the currency there. Adjusted sales were up 7% year over year. Adjusted operating profit up 11% year over year. Their fiscal 2026 adjusted EBIT growth, -6% to 0%. That's going to be the same for the revenue. So they're still expecting year over year declines here for adjusted EBITDA and for revenue for NVO. Again, this report coming out here. What they did last quarter, I think, was something similar. They released this now, and then they released something else here in tomorrow morning before, I guess, the report's supposed to come out. So just be aware here. Already seeing some NVO earnings circulating. Back to you.
Adam, honestly, brother, yeah, it is 1270. No, but here's my pitch to you. Listen, you're trading, you're consistently doing something. I would suggest 5. Well, we have no issues with giving it to you, but I think you're at a level from a skill standpoint where you need something that will display that.
Which is what I asked him. I'm like, what program are you using?
Well, I asked him that multiple times, and he said that, so I gave him a suggestion. But I mean, I think.
Well, we don't get it on here either. Like, look, so if I put a trading screen. AMIX, it won't show it to me.
I wonder if there's a feature.
It's supposed to show it there. No, that's where it's supposed to show it. That's where it used to show it. Unless they changed it.
Maybe they changed it. Maybe it's on the new one. Anyways, aside from that, you got to fit.
Hold on, just before we go, we have to tell everybody about AMIX because it's
halted. Absolutely.
12:40:51. The current time is exactly 12:44:55. So we have about another minute or so less. For the earliest open on AMIX. The top is showing 1270, so it's a little bit higher than where we halted off. We're going to have to send you up to the big desk for an interview, but keep your eye here on AMIX. Top's already moving up.
Very excited to welcome a representative from a good friend of our show. This is Amanda Bay, CFA and VP of Investor Relations over at VinFast US. Thank you so much for being here with us today, and good afternoon.
For having me.
Of course, let's get right into it here. So VinFast reported strong delivery growth in the second quarter 2026. What were some of the key highlights here from Q2 and overall H1 first half of 2026 for you guys over at VinFast?
Well, as you said, Q2 first half was off to a strong start for us. In Q2, we delivered over 70,000 EVs globally. That's a 90% year-over-year increase. In the first half of this year, we've already delivered over 128,000 EVs. So we've essentially met 43% of our full year target of 300,000 EVs. To give you some context, in previous years, we've typically had a stronger second half skew in deliveries, where we delivered about 65% of our full year deliveries in the second half. So what we've basically seen in 2026 so far is a broadening and more diversified revenue base, increasingly supported by the introduction of new models, the rollout of more showrooms internationally, supported by our ecosystem. Basically, in the first half of this year, we've seen an embrace of electrification, especially from our core markets in India and Southeast Asia. And we remain the #1 battery EV brand in Vietnam for over 15 months now. In the first quarter of this year, we were the #1 battery EV brand in the Philippines, outselling Tesla. #4 in India, right behind the large domestic brands, and top 10 in Indonesia, which is a very competitive market. So overall, a very strong start to the first half of VinFast.
So you guys are EV sellers. We've seen considerable volatility in oil prices so far in 2026, of course, with all the geopolitical tensions. So has that had any meaningful impact on consumer interest in EVs or VinFast business specifically?
That's a great question. The higher oil prices has really made businesses, consumers, and governments in Asia really rethink energy security. A lot of the major economies in Asia are net oil importers. So what we've basically seen in the first half of this year is more businesses, more fleet operators really rethinking the calculus for their monthly operating costs and making that switch towards EVs because they're seeing considerable savings. Now, we're not planning our longer term sales strategy around higher oil prices necessarily, but the opportunities that the first have presented with this volatility in oil prices has given us a chance to really double down on educating consumers and businesses on the overall economic benefits of owning EVs. It's not just affordability, but also having a reliable car and also having access to charging infrastructure. And we're working very hard with our sister companies and local partners to also accelerate the rollout of charging infrastructure in our key markets so that consumers have access to that very vital infrastructure to support long-term EV adoption.
So I know that you went over, of course, the deliveries and some of the regional highlights for VinFast so far in 2026. But for viewers who aren't maybe super familiar with VinFast's story recently, what are the company's key priorities going forward for the remainder of 2026 and even over the medium term?
So we have very clear priorities over the next 12 to 24 months. The first is focusing on delivering our volume targets to get scale in our core markets in Southeast Asia and India. The second is strengthening our product portfolio. We already have 15 electric vehicles and over a dozen electric two-wheeler models. And we are just introducing a range extender EV this year. This is a hybrid vehicle. And we view this as a very practical interim step, especially in markets where maybe the charging infrastructure is not readily available as yet. And the third priority for us is executing our new vehicle platform and our EE 2.0 architecture. Now, these upgraded platforms will basically enable a greater component standardization in our cars, which means faster over-the-air updates, lower procurement and production costs, and improving our margin profile as volumes continue to grow.
So you mentioned here, of course, EVs. Let's go over to AVs, autonomous driving here, autonomous vehicles. So autonomous driving has become an increasingly important part of the automotive industry as a whole. We literally just had a catalyst earlier today with Jensen Huang of NVIDIA talking about their own AV growth. So with that in mind, what does VinFast's autonomy roadmap look like, and what milestones in this specific aspect of the business should investors be on the lookout for?
So last November, we announced our roadmap from level 2++ to level 4 autonomy. We also did a robo-taxi autonomous vehicle demonstration within the Vinhomes Ocean Park property in Hanoi. This robo-taxi was developed in partnership with Autobrains, an Israeli-based AI mobility company that is one of our key partners in level 4 technology. This year in June, we also announced an MOU with Autobrains and NVIDIA at the GPU Taipei, where we basically announced that NVIDIA is going to be a leading supplier to our level 4 autonomous vehicles. And this really reinforces our commitment to using the best-in-class technologies and working with the best-in-class partners. So for us, we expect to expand our level 4 autonomous fleet testing in Hanoi over the coming 18 to 24 months. We currently have several vehicles being tested. We're looking to expand that more materially. And at the same time, investors should be looking out for, more announcements from us regarding more ADAS features in our vehicles, the expansion of our robotaxi pilot fleet, and also the development and announcement of future technology partnerships to support level 4 autonomy.
So just to wrap things up here, are there 3 things that you'd like our viewers over here to remember about VinFast today? And if you could just list them, what would those 3 things be?
Sure. So the first thing is we continue to scale our volumes, and we have established a strong track record of delivering our growth targets over the last few years. In 2025, we doubled our delivery volumes from 2024. And this year, we've set ourselves an ambitious 50% growth target, and we already demonstrated that we're on track to meet that in the first half. Second, viewers should bear in mind that VinFast is building more than just EVs. We are really creating a green mobility ecosystem around having passenger vehicles, electric two-wheelers, commercial fleet, and charging infrastructure. And the final thing is, for us, we're really executing towards our path to profitability. This is an important milestone for us as we look to execute a lower vehicle platform, increase localization, and improve operating efficiencies. We are building that sustainable path towards profitability, and we expect our Vietnam market to be the first market to become profitable.
So exciting. Thank you once again for going over all of this with us and being here with us today. Amanda Bailey, CFA, VP of Investor Relations at VinFast US. Thank you so much for your time and for all of this knowledge. Really appreciate it. Have a good one.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Great information, great interview from a great company. Thank you very much for that. There goes AMIX into the freaking high of day. We got 15 14s on this one, zigging and zagging with 16. Let's see if we can see exactly where limit up is. 17.18 limit up. Big seller at 27. Can't shake the seller at 27. Gonna post an order here at 16.75. Let's see if we can get up there. Or I stop out below 15.50. Take your pick. Continuing to hold above 16, but not by much. What are you seeing on this one, Joey? Any action from your part there?
On this name in particular, no. I mean, it's going on a big time run. I was out 200% ago, unfortunately. But I mean, hey, we take the money and we absolutely run. It's beautiful stuff, man. As soon as it opened up at $15, I'm like, all right, we're going to head to 16. And if you keep your eyes on the tape, you'll have the ability to identify when the strength is really starting to step in. And there it is. See, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. So step back. Never mind.
Money, man.
Pause it. If I can, not obviously, we can't go back that far because there's just too much volume. Oh, here it is. So if you see that flash and you see that consistent, look at this here, right? And you can see the time, 37s. This thing's going to go to $20. It's absolutely crazy. It's a big time move here. But I mean, 400% and counting here on AMIX. Fantastic stuff, really. And you can see the strength within the tape. And that's what I was saying to the individuals. Like when you're trading these things, this order flow is so important to when you're going to be getting in and when you're going to be getting out for my style. And I think if you adapt it as well, too, it's going to really help increase that accuracy. I mean, it's small potatoes on my end, but it'll allow you to give you a prime time entry as this thing's going to print $18 momentarily.
Oh. We are doing it freaking live today on AMIX, man. Boom into the high, assassino. 17. I can't even see what the high is anymore. The charts are freaking out here, Joey. 17.27 limit up, baby. Dropping a little bit right now. Watch out for the flush city. Flush city. This one's coming down now into 16. Watch out here, guys. We're looking for a 16 hold, bleeding its own blood. Down into 16. Ironically enough, this is still very much holding trend as the prior bar low over here on AMIX is 1472. I mean, that's what happens when, boom, things rip up in this fashion. Kisha quite astutely pointed out we have room to 19, but we got to give Casey 526 all the love in the world.
Yeah, man.
She dropped another 5 memberships, man, in the chat. Drama Slop, Pop Eye the Survivor, Austin Mech, Star Bright Pools, and who else? Samoa.
Yeah, but
29.
I don't know how much this this YouTube algo is working because I've never seen any of these individuals here type anything in the chat. So I don't know. I might be a little suspicious of how that's going to be working because I see people who are consistently in here not getting the membership. I have no control over that. So anyway, yeah, man, this is some good stuff here. It's all rig says Daryl. Yeah,
I love Tish. She's like, yo, it's not bleeding anything, bro. This is a pullback.
Man.
No, you're quite astute, Tish. I mean,
you may not be wrong. I wouldn't be surprised if you have this gap filled from 14 at $14, and then you might be able to turn things around. This is an insane stock, to be honest with you, and it's a lot of fun watching it, man. It's crazy stuff. Never mind any of the other. Yeah, I know, Lemons family, you're always in the chat. That's the thing. I was actually looking at your name and Dave as well too. And I'm, what's going on here? But anyways, aside from that, are we gonna turn around, Sharif? Look at the tape once again.
Turn around, because you're gonna see my heart ripping into the high. Come on, AMIX.
Yeah, this thing's really
Andrew
strong,
Mathler,
man.
brother, sorry. You know, I don't even see your name that often in the chat. I'm going to read your message even though you were very rude.
Oh.
You know these guys won't listen to you unless your name is Casey. Oh, well, them. perhaps they don't know my levels on AMD are 560 resistance and 388 support. What do you guys think for the 10th time? Even though you just swore at us, I'm going to look at it for you.
All right.
This guy just dunked on us.
380,
Crapped all
bro,
over
this
us,
guy
and
said
here we are.
388 support? That's your brother.
I don't know if he's being serious there or what, but hey, man, you know what, Joey? Maybe 388 comes in. Who knows? What were his levels again?
Yeah, I don't know, man. 388 is all.
560, Joey, is the high, and 388 support.
Yeah, how did
just
Casey,
$200 worth of range there.
How did Casey get it dragged into that?
I don't know, man. Casey just
fair,
like
man.
she doesn't even do anything to anybody.
Crazy.
But all she does is be nice.
Yeah.
Let's look at this though, Joey.
Yeah.
Let's see if we're gonna pull up over here, but now we're waiting for the charts to pull up. There we go. So 388. 388 would take you. Where are you getting 388, brother? Is it this candle here? Because that candle low is 393, and then this candle low is 336. So I don't see where you're seeing 388, my guy. I would say generally a $400 level support, but then below that you're looking at 275. There's really nothing else. This is the weekly, by the way, on AMD. And then 560 you said as resistance. Is that all-time high? No, 584.73 is all-time high, but if you're looking at the closing print, it would take you to this bad boy. So I can see why you would say 560. I would probably say 575 because you do have a lot of topping tail candles that get into that level. But hey, you know, you got a higher low on the weekly chart than you do last week. Last week's area low is 420.20. Whoa, that's pretty cool. 420.20. The last week high is 539.42. This week's high is 525.31. So look, man, AMD does report after the bell today. I think my spidey sense says this thing breaks $600. What do you think?
So AMD, yeah. I mean, listen, I'm focused on AMIX right now, looking for this additional leg higher. I mean, AMD, anything can happen with that name. Options activity is definitely cooled down. I wouldn't be surprised. It's going to be a great quarter. I think that's going to be it's going to be, it probably will beat expectations. It just depends on how the street takes it in, right? I think it's going to be an amazing, who knows? It was down almost 30% at one point and then just climbed right back up, moving with the overall market. Here it is. We're keeping an eye out on this $16 hold. Are we going to break AMIX? It's just such a, look at this, man. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, just consecutive candles and multiple halts in between. I don't know if I want to be chasing this, but I think we'll be able to identify somewhere in this 1650 range to see if we're going to break through and then head to the 18. Adam's really good at picking out levels on this thing, AIMX. I want to know where their next potential target is.
Here we go, 17 break.
Oh, there it went, eh? Oh, yeah, I'm too busy typing.
You can't look away.
Can't look away, man. That's for sure. Let's see if we're okay. I'm gonna go small size here.
1730 day high, Joey.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the objective. Yes, sir. It's just like that.
Just my God. 1797 limit up.
We're out, man. That break, that's exactly what we are looking for. A nice little scalp city. And we pop out just like as quick as we got in. So there it is. A nice little move there on that one. I didn't take as much as I could have, but it was fun. No need for me to give up too much. I was risking 10% of my day, and we made that. So
we heading to 20?
Yeah, I think at this point, to the individual in the chat who's like, man, I got an average price of 21. I get there it goes. Like look at
1827 limit up. Oh my Lanta.
Thing's gonna go to $20 probably. Hold on, let's pull it up here.
Bro, beautiful.
We must do our due diligence on this bad boy and see what we have going on from daily levels. If they even come into play, if they're any form of factor or anything along those lines. Where does that put us? 1894. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see some form of resistance at this level right here. Now, if you want me to look at AMD, listen, what was his name? Sorry, I forgot your name. But anyways, aside from that, the guy who told us to go beat it pretty much.
Oh, Andrew Matthew.
Okay, well,
he was nice afterwards.
He was nice. So yeah, he's typically a nice individual in the chat. I'll give him credit. I give credit where credit is due. But anyways, aside from that, we're still holding up to $18 there in that name. Let's keep an eye out on 388. That's way down there. I mean, anything can happen, and that would give you approximately off of the high. Let's see from a percentage metric what the pullback's going to be. 35%. I don't think that's unreasonable considering we've seen it before. But bang, there it goes. Bubban, where are you?
I'm messaging him right now, bro.
Not here. Here goes $19. So we were in at 17. This thing's already gone You're gonna give him a photo.
We're gonna send him a video. We're gonna be like, yo, Bovin, what's going on?
He's busy, man.
Hold on, man.
All right, man.
He's my friend, bro.
Check my super too. We
Bovin,
got you.
what's going on, brother? We got AMIX is gonna limit up 881.
Oh.
Casey wants to know
where.
Oh, it's a picture.
Wait, we're
gonna have to do that again.
No, it's not genuine anymore. It didn't work.
Bovin, where the hell are you, brother? We got AMIX halted 415%, 87 million shares. Casey just dropped a chat or super chat asking where the hell you are. Bovin, we need you here, brother. We're up big on AMIX. Get to the computer screen quickly, wherever you are.
ASAP, quickly. We forgot our boy, Adam James. He did give us a $2 that they're flowing in here today. Pouring a 40 out for our homie Bovin on AMIX.
Your friend Big Spiles keeping an eye on the market as well, man.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
Messaged you?
Yeah, he's like, what the hell is this market? Because Big Spile, right?
He's short everything, and now he's just like, yeah, what is even happening at this point? But yeah, I mean, here it is, man. A beautiful stuff. 415%. 415. That's not 316. It's 415, Sharif, just in case you were curious. Oh, need I mention NVDA slowly starting to work out for us as well, too, ladies and gentlemen. So that one's not too bad. Obviously, we would like to get involved at the volume weighted average price. This was a beautiful, but whatever that small cap ticker's name is, AMIX has definitely been our best and most profitable name of the intraday sessiones.
That piece of crap Apple is ripping at the moment. Here comes three.
Someone said Meta's moving too.
Meta's moving as well. Meta's down 1%, but it's moving close to that 585 area where it had a lot of resistance earlier. META was looking good. Softies close back to 500 area, man. The soft one's working its way back. Where's the all-time high here on Softy? Oh God, these charts again. Here we go. That double top, into the 560s. I remember this 556, 560, that monster double top. But look how it couldn't close really above 530 on Softy. Yeah, but we're gapping up pretty aggressively on whatever, major market you're looking at. Dow, all-time highs today. Q's not quite yet. Just showing Joey this. Even though we're up 3%, by far the biggest percentage mover on the day. We're not at all-time highs. We still got to work back into 750. We're at 721. The SPY is Rip City. Rip City.
Yeah, whoa, there goes everything, Sharif. Sorry to interrupt you. Everything's going
ahead, man.
There goes, look at NVDA.
Nice trade, Joey.
Look at the SPY go. Look at the NASDAQ go. I can't even really say anything. Look how much harder it is to find a red name here today, Sharif.
I like these kind of days.
Until we find out what's on the opposite side of them. But the volume
there's going to be corrections.
There's going to be, exactly.
Right?
I'm a firm believer at this point there might be something stepping into the market.
Well, there was this Israel-Lebanon headline. I don't think it's the biggest market mover, but it's good positivity here. Lebanon talks to continue to today through August 6th, so a couple of days of talks there. Good look. Guys, believe it or not, man, the IWM, even though Assassino, we don't talk about the IWM all that much, it is the best performing major average on the year, up 22 3/4, second to the NASDAQ. It's up 17 1/2. It's kind of the same look, Joey, between the Dow and the SPY, 13 1/3, both, up 13 1/3 year to date on these index ETFs, but it is a good look today, and I wouldn't mind seeing USO continue to bleed its own blood to the downside. What I was kind of surprised about, Joey, I'm gonna put you to the test on this one, as we often do to each other on here. Hold on a sec.
All right.
GLD, gold. Up or down year to date?
On the year.
Yes, sir. Don't look.
Down.
Down. How much?
Let's say I'm gonna go low double digits, 12%.
No, it's 5. Okay, fine. It's down 5, but pretty close. Tell me about silver, though.
Silver down. That's down more. I'm going to go 15%.
Ooh, right on. 15.91. Nice, Joey. Yeah. So silver and gold, getting a little bit of a beat up here, at least lately. But as the NOS boss,
give me another one. I'm on a roll.
Give you another one. All right, hold on. Let me give you a mega cap name here. Not a mega cap name. Give me Baba. Give me Baba, up or down on the year?
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll give you. Should I give you a hint?
Yeah. Let me phone a friend.
What's this? Freaking Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, man? Just throw a number out there. Baba.
Okay.
Red on the year.
Yeah, okay,
Red on the year.
Red on
I'm
the
giving
year.
you that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 7.5%.
No, 12. But you're not that bad. You're not that bad, right? So 12% negative Vil on Baba. How about this one, Joey? Let's talk about this one over here. One that you and I both dislike greatly. IBIT. We don't dislike.
Oh yeah, I already know that one's down substantially.
We're open.
On the year?
Yeah, what are we down on the year?
On the year, it's like 35 to 40%.
It's not as bad anymore. It probably was at one point, 26.9.
Right,
but your point is well taken. There it goes into another, oh my Lanta, day high, 1989. I ain't talking about the year. I'm talking about the price level, and it feels like it's going to rip through that now. We're showing 77s. Wow. We're up 444%, and there goes $20. It is 2070. It's 2133 limit up. Wow. 2133 limit up. That is the high of the day. That is where the Halt parameter is going to initiate. We haven't quite, initiated the Halt parameter. We just saw it flash there momentarily. Back into 20 we go. What a move up. Yeah. Great call out by everybody in the chat, especially you, Tish, saying, look, this ain't bleeding nothing, boy. This is just taking its breath here. It's a little bit of a pullback, more accurate. You could not be. Good luck on everybody who's been involved with this one on the day. You guys had the compunction to get in, and you were rewarded, man, because these small cap gappers, they can give with 2 hands, man. 4 hands if they had it, but they can also take away. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. 2203 limit up as we zig and zag here, man. Let's get to Nick Garcia. He's dropping 20 beauties in the chat. We're going to love him there, man. We hit the bang for Nick Garcia.
What's up, Nicky?
I spend $80 a month on streaming, and I spend more time here than with them combined in 1 month. The value which you provide for free on YouTube is why I have been subscribed for 4 years. Also why streaming services need to adapt or die. You hear that one, Brendo? That was a pretty nice one there, man.
That was a good one.
Brendo just gave me that thought.
Man, you got to drop those subs, it seems like. At this point. Save yourself $80. You know how many NVDA shares that is a month, right?
God, I can't stand this guy giving me everything in the price of NVIDIA shares lately, man. I tried to invite this guy to, what's it called? Blossom Con. He's like, yo, man, that's 3 NVIDIA shares. Man, that's a third of an NVIDIA share. And this guy lives and breathes the value of things in what they cost in NVIDIA shares. I guess it's a pretty good thing, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a horrible thing. It's not the best thing either. I mean, to each their own. We'll hit
Thank you very much again, though, for that super, brother.
We'll hit the Stone. Actually, I'll start it all over again for you there. We'll hit the Stone Cold on that one. There goes. But speaking of the devil there, Sharif, there goes NVDA. Short flicks, says Ben Affleck. Trader TV. What are we asking next?
Piece of crap's down
live
1%
on Netflix.
on the day.
Yeah, I mean, anything could happen. Here it is, NVDL kicking up a storm.
310 Apple rejection.
Yeah, we're up 200%. That'd be insane. Sharif, your boy would be on a vacaciones if that was the case. If NVDA was up 200%. I almost said that, but that's not the case. It's up 2% here. So.
Hold on, because this guy's put everything in NVIDIA. And obviously it's a good investment there, Joey, as it has reclaimed its status as the world's #1 market cap company, 5.11 trillion, with the dead one Apple behind now, 4.5 trillion. Wow, Apple lost almost $1 trillion on that sell-off. Jeez, freaking Louise, but Apple just took out 310 again, guys. So be on the lookout there. But it feels like it's a SpaceX show today, man. Up 6 3/4. Are we at highs? I can't quite see because the charts are acting crazy, but yeah, almost 7% here on SpaceX. Let's flip to the 5 to kind of see where we're at intraday. We are at the high of the day on SpaceX as we await earnings. Of course, we are knocking the door, ladies and gentlemen, of 7% here, and we could be at 123 sooner rather than later. So be on the lookout there. David, he's dropping 10 beauties in the chat. We're going to thank him for that. Not an advisor. Nobody on the internet. Nobody is on the internet getting feelings that healthy hedges seem reasonable. This market may do the hokey pokey on that stuff. The ex-mayor of Toronto did. Oh, God. Yeah, you should see our new mayor. Well, the current mayor. She did a lot of dancing on the weekend at the Caribbean Festival.
She's at every festival,
bro. It's beautiful to watch.
Did you see her do Oh, get it at least. Oh, I have it anyways.
I got it. It's on
Yeah,
6 Buzz, man.
yeah,
It's
man.
hilarious.
Almost
I love
you
it.
almost
It
tore
makes
an
me
ACL
chuckle.
there.
Yeah, be safe, y'all. No, but Dave, your point very well taken, man. You know, let's not put our blinders on. We did get a pretty, healthy correction, I would say, last week, going into the week prior as well. So the chart isn't without corrections; it's with corrections. But I see your point, But hey, what's the situation here? We're up 17 3/4 or 2/3. Up on the triple Qs on the year. I think we could have a 23-24% year again. Right? What was last year? What did we get last year?
Yeah, you got 30%.
We got about
like
30?
30%.
Did we
yeah,
actually?
or something along those lines, man.
So that's all I've got at the moment. It is 1:15 or almost 1:15, so we're a little bit late for the new segment. If Sia is ready to go with the new segment, we are ready to send it up to her.
Let's start with SpaceX reporting tonight. So we are nervous, not nervous. Chart is nervous, not nervous. Can't decide. There's rocket formations everywhere. SpaceX reporting tonight. So this is what LSEG analysts are estimating. Revenue of $6.93 billion, an EPS target of 26 cents. EPS loss, however, of 26 cents. The stock has made its debut in the markets, but it has dropped 54% from its IPO price on June 12th, which was $150, which means it has cleared $500 billion in its market cap. So last year, SPCX had lost close to $5 billion, to be precise, $4.9 billion in heavy AI infrastructure spending. That is something you want to consider as well as you go into this earnings report today. If its only profitable segment is the Starlink satellite internet service, which is sold directly to customers as well as government and military agencies, SPCX is also merged with XAI this February, if you remember, with a vision to build data centers in space. However, what's happening is that it is losing money on these large contracts with NASA. Here's what analysts are expecting in terms of revenue from SpaceX's segments, 3 of them according to Street Count. Let's go over them. Space at $835 million, connectivity at $3.83 billion. And finally, you have AI at $2.18 billion. Like Sharif mentioned a little bit earlier, Adara, SPCX is up 7% on the day. What's your take?
So yeah, my take is, again, we have what analysts are expecting, which is not just in terms of revenue and numbers, but also in terms of, things they might want Elon Musk to say, because Elon Musk is known for a slightly volatile earnings call. He's very likely to lead this earnings call. Either that, or they switch it up and they pull out Gwynne Shotwell, who is, I believe, COO, and she's really proven herself lately. So I think that'll be an interesting look. But yeah, as you mentioned there, we opened at 150, IPO price of 135, right now trying to crawl our way back there. But we haven't broken below 100, so not a bad look for SpaceX. But I want to talk about what SpaceX shareholders want to talk about at this earnings call, because it's real weird, honestly. So again, we've heard what analysts might be looking for, but here was basically they closed it. I think looks like about a day before the earnings call will start. So they closed this yesterday afternoon, but shareholders were allowed to put in their own questions, and then we have a Reddit-style voting system with how much people like these questions. The first question with 2.7 thousand, 2,700 upvotes, more than 2,000 upvotes. This means shareholders really want to talk about this. I literally ranked it here by top in terms of top rated. So here's the question. Has the team thought about what possibilities there are with your mascot asteroid? Whether it's starting additional foundations for kids in its name, helping kids learn about space, etc. Kids are our future, and asteroid would be a fun, easy way to help. Next question, also about asteroid. Third question, I'm just getting to the second part of this question here, but would you ever allow the public to name a starship even knowing there's a 99% chance it becomes Shippy McShipface? 932 votes. The point I'm trying to make here is I do not know if what the shareholders are focused on is maybe the most, focused, sensible way for this company to handle this earnings call. So I really hope they take questions from investors as well. Now, if you're wondering, who is this baby asteroid? This is Asteroid. This stuffed dog, which has not even been released yet, is the source of so many questions. I mean, he looks cute, and it is cool. Like, I do, kids are the future. We should help kids, but should that be the focus of the company's first ever earnings call? I don't know. I really don't know. And so I think it's just worth noting, as much as we want to talk about we want to hear real facts about the company, what they're actually doing, the shareholders don't want to talk about that. They clearly have other things in their mind, like this adorable little asteroid Shiba Inu plush. So the point I'm trying to make is I think it'll be really interesting to see what call we get, and if it's going to be a combo of what investors want and what analysts and analysts and people in the market want, because this should be McShipface, not something I thought I'd see in a question for at least at one point, one of the biggest companies in the world. So yeah, interesting look here for SPCX. And I know kind of a tangent, but I do think it's kind of worth putting this in perspective because I do appreciate that SpaceX has given us the visibility that we can even see these questions. I just wonder how many of them are going to get answered because clearly people, for whatever reason, really want answers on this stuff.
Absolutely. You never know. Next year, they might have a segment included how much revenue this little dog sales made. So you never know. Sending it back to the guys.
All right, let's get to some numbers. That was great information, though. All right, guys, so let's talk about the merger, of course, between SpaceX and XAI. That fundamentally changed the accounting as well as the finances for what was a very profitable company. So here's the deal. SpaceX's AI segment, we're talking about XAI, made about $818 million in revenue, but they also have operating losses of $2.5 billion. So the unit absorbs 75% of the total company CapEx as well. We're talking about $7.7 billion really being funneled into something that isn't quite making money yet. Now, we do know that they're renting to Anthropic for $1.25 billion per month, but that still does not make them profitable with that. Now, let's also talk about Starlink being really the only segment in the entire company that's actually profitable. They generated $3.26 billion in revenue, and 1.19 billion of that is actually all profit, but it is essentially subsidizing the other parts of the company. And Starlink is not without its criticism, even though it is continuing to grow and it's a fabulous service. I've used it multiple times and I really like it. Their average revenue per user continues to drop. And the reason is they're targeting these sort of smaller, less Western, let's put it that way, markets where they're able to charge less, and they're focusing more on consumers like myself, Joseph, rather than actually going to enterprise. And that's where the big money is, the enterprise clients. So I want to see more deals with airlines. I want to see more deals with B2B rather than B2C. I think that moves the needle a little bit more. We also know that 1.2 billion shares are still locked up. And about 912 million of those shares are going to be unlocked on the 6th. And then you have another 319 million that are going to be unlocked the following week. So a lot of sell side pressure possibly coming after, the 6th. And last but not least, I kind of already alluded to it, $1.25 billion per month is what they're getting from Anthropic for leasing out some of their compute. I want to see if they strike more deals with that. It's just really about who is there to do it with. He's not going to do it for Altman, right? I can't see this guy doing anything for Altman. He wouldn't sell him a cup of cake, you know what I mean? A cup of coffee. So I don't think Altman would want compute from Musk either. But who is there left out there as a frontier model that he can sell compute to? I think the numbers are a little bit limited. So let's go back to Adara, and AMIX is open.
Chipotle in focus here, guys. If you see in the headline on my screen, Wall Street Journal did end up reporting here that health officials are probing salmonella cases that are tied to the company's jalapeno pepper. So again, some jalapeno peppers served at Chipotle, I guess leading to potentially some salmonella issues. So that's being investigated. Obviously, this drop happened a little while ago. Just seeing this circulate now. So in case you're wondering why did Chipotle drop like that, that is what's happening there. They're getting grilled on this jalapeno potential salmonella connection. Also seeing something here in ANF. No real moves on this, but I guess they're exploring options for their China business. Would not be the first company to be doing that, and it's not moving on the story either. Back to you.
So there's a couple of things that I'm going to be keeping an eye out for on this report. Okay, so first things first, we'll talk about what's the viewership and what maybe traders believe is going to happen after the earnings report. 52% saying lower, 35% saying higher, 13% saying it's going to stay the same. Now, we talk about XAI, we talk about Starlink, we talk about all these metrics. They're all going to come into play, but with the lockout, the locked up shares, once those become released, it's going to play a major factor in what happens with the underlying asset. Now, are people going to be continuously holding this name, considering they lost since the issuing price of 135? You're south of that. Are you going to continue to hold on until you get back into that before you sell, and you have kind of waves come in tranches of selling and selling and selling? I think that's going to be a possibility. But for me right now, I think if this loss per share comes in anything better than 26 cents, if that's cut in half, it comes in at 19 cents or 20 cents, I think that we have the ability to climb higher than where we're currently at right now. So that's where I stand where it comes to SpaceX. There's multiple factors that have to be taken into consideration, but EPS, if that comes in at a better than expected loss, I think we see some higher prices in this name. If not, if that's the case, if it comes in worse, then I wouldn't be surprised if we do see sub 100 at some point throughout next week or this week. So that's my stance on SPCX. Adam, or sorry, not Adam. I don't know why I called you that. Daniel, what's going on, brother? Cheese in a chair, $5. When it comes to SpaceX, I'm like Kevin Hart. I'm short, and I'm staying short no matter what color they decide to paint Shippy McShip face.
Staying short.
Right?
He always gets dunked on in the roast. Say that's like the number 1 thing
short,
everybody
man. He can't
goes
help.
through,
He
bro.
can't help that.
And his movies, people always dunk on
I think
him for his movies.
I think it's
as
hilarious,
well,
man.
I don't dislike him at all.
I think
funny,
McShip face is crazy.
McShip. Let's send it back to Sia.
Let's
Go to the next story there.
Let's talk some more.
AMD is our next one. So Wall Street expecting AMD to report. Now it's reporting after the bell, $11.31 billion in revenue and $1.61 in EPS. The company has exceeded estimates in each of its past 8 quarters, also topped earnings expectations in 7 of these 8 quarters. Last quarter, however, AMD had posted an EPS of $1.37, which had exceeded estimates of $1.29. Also, revenue that was reported had reached $10.25 billion, which had been a 37.8% year-over-year increase. So the company is expecting a revenue now of $11.2 billion with plus or minus $300 million with a non-GAAP margin of nearly 56%. AMD has also expanded its AI hardware lineup. Like if you remember, I was covering it the other day during its July Advancing AI event, and the new rollouts that have been coming. The company had introduced Instinct MI400 series accelerators, also the Helios rack scale platform that was shown during the conference as well, which combines GPUs and EPYC processors for AI workloads that had also collaborated. AMD had collaborated with various companies like Microsoft, OpenAI, and at the same time, you had Schneider Electric in there as well. Right now, AMD is up 8.5%.
All right, so first, I'm looking for their server CPU business, which is getting a lot of love again because agentic AI really does rely on the CPU a little bit more than it does the GPU. So I want to see kind of how their EPYC processors go. But we also need to know that it's kind of cannibalizing the x86 business from Intel. So if one's going to do well, we got to definitely look to the other one for some weakness. I'm not saying Intel is just going to sell off on that because they have a lot of other moats, but something to think about there. Then we also know that they have a multi-year income revenue window because they've locked a lot of deals in, I should say, with Meta and Oracle for their Helios rack that gives them a multi-year revenue visibility. I think it goes through 2028. They have about 6 gigawatts of CPU demand just for those 2 deals. And then NVIDIA always had the edge up on packaging, especially chip on wafer on substrate, CoWoS, if you want to call it that. But they're countering NVIDIA's dominance on that because they've tied about $10 billion to a Taiwanese, not Taiwan Semiconductor, a different Taiwanese manufacturer who's going to be able to kind of reserve a lot of chip on wafer on substrate at the 2 nanometer process, which is the most advanced node. So I want to see if they can actually get that needle moving. And that's beyond, of course, any guidance they give with respect to the MI455i, which I know you're a big fan of.
Yeah, I love it. Listen, I said I believe that AMD alongside JP Morgan, I mean, I believe they're pretty close in market cap. JP may be a little bit ahead of them. But this is, in my opinion, going to be one of the names that I think is lagging from a market cap standpoint, right? Like we see the Broadcoms of the world and a lot of its peers within this space, within these AI frontier models and businesses. AMD is yet to hit that $1 trillion club. And I believe that this company has the opportunity to do so. Now, listen, we're looking at a 9% swing, okay? Now, from an options standpoint, that's intriguing. But what really what I personally want to focus on here is their partnerships and how much they're going to be getting from the hyperscalers. Deepening partnership with Microsoft and Anthropic is going to be an extreme positive for this company, all right? And with the analysts having price targets around $600, I do believe Lee Sin-Soo and company are going to beat. They've beat on the previous 10 out of 12 quarters. Unfortunately, not all of them have closed higher. About 5 out of those 10 that they've double beat on have closed higher the previous day. Are we pricing a lot in already, considering we've been recovering for the past couple of sessions? I don't think that's necessarily the case. If there's any form of surprise, watch out for AMD to hit some new all-time highs. And I mean, we're only a couple percentage points off at this point, which would put us probably right above the expected move at 10.5%, We're looking at 9%. If that's exceeded, then by all means, $600 could definitely be a target in the near term here for AMD. But partnerships are key, and most definitely guidance. $49 billion for forecast of 2026. Not bad. I want to see that increase by Lisa, Sue, and company. Let's send it back to Sia.
Let's talk a little bit Palantir now. They reported blowout earnings as of yesterday, post-market as of yesterday. I just want to take a look at the numbers over here. Now, 93% growth in its overall revenue has sent the number to $1.94 billion, which is up from $1 billion a year ago and has beat LSEG estimates of $1.8 billion. Commercial revenue has jumped 149% to $764 million, and government revenue has grown 90% to $809 million. Full year revenue expectations are sitting between the range of $8.15 to $8.158 billion in commercial revenue, in excess of $3.424 to be precise billion. Co-founder and CEO of the company, Alex Karp, has described the quarter as quote unquote otherworldly and has added that the sovereign AI revolution makes him quote unquote very optimistic about the future. He's also said in an interview, "Forget consensus. To my knowledge, no businesses at our scale have even grown half this much." PLTR currently up 29.14% on the day.
No, listen, commercial revenue jumping 149%, 93% across the board. It's absolutely fantastic numbers. And when you have a stock like Palantir that was cut in half over the past couple of months, and you raise your current quarter guidance as well too, you see these exact moves that we're experiencing. 30% to the top side here for Palantir and company. And listen, we talk about brand damage, and we've had this conversation before in regards to Elon Musk and Tesla. I believe that was a little bit of an influence going on with this stock as well too. We had SaaSmageddon that really hurt this name, but Alex Karp, with the public face that he is, very much so. Yeah, public. That's crazy. But the public figure that he is, I think it's a part of the reason why this name was hit so heavy. Listen, we've seen the growth cycle that Palantir went through a couple of years ago. So for me personally, the continuation and the trajectory of this is really important. And Sharif brought a really, I think, important factor and a point within this earnings report is not that you're gaining customers, is that you are making your current customers pay more. Okay, so I have an issue with that personally, because how thin are you going to stretch? Like, you can have a fantastic product, but if somebody finds a product, considering we're in this AI boom, if this company finds a product that is cheaper than what you are charging them, I believe they will step outside of the ecosystem and move on. I think a combination of both is getting the average revenue per user to increase, but you also want to increase your user base as well too, so you're not just heavily reliant on that specific group of enterprise.
Well said, Joey. All right, here's what I want to talk about. They made a killing on SpaceX investment. They were one of the early investors there on SpaceX, and I think they cleared up pretty nicely there. It added about 3 pennies per share to their EPS, so good look. That's obviously a non-recurring item. So a little artificially inflated, but not by much. We're only talking about 3 pennies per share. But Joseph, we need to talk about their concentration risk. 81% of their revenue comes from United States companies or government. That's a lot of concentration risk there. We've seen, possibly losing that deal that they have with the National Health Service in England, and now you're kind of, I mentioned it many times. You're seeing some political headwinds here. Come from both sides of the aisle with respect to Palantir. Joseph talked about ARPU, their average revenue per user, their U.S. commercial revenue skyrocketed, right? 149% year over year, $764 million is what they're bringing in on that. But their total customer count only popped 35% over year to 653. I'm not saying that's little. I'm just saying the growth is disproportionate between the users, the customers that they have, and the top line revenue. Something to think about. And last but not least, they are debt-free, baby. And they got a lot of cash on hand. They're hoarding $9.2 billion in cash. And that is what their debt is right there. Good luck for this company.
Take a look at the next theme over here. Cat Caterpillar, along with beating second quarter earnings as of today, CAT has also raised its guidance, seeing benefits from the build-out of AI data centers that has spurred demand for its power generation as well as construction equipment. The company has cut full-year tariff costs to $2.2 billion. An expected number was between the range of $2.2 to $2.6 billion. And the company has reported a revenue of $20.4 billion, which is a 24% increase from previous one of $16.6 billion. EPS profit currently standing at $7.77 per share, or $8.17 adjusted. Operating profit is at 20.9%, which is up from 17.3% in the year-ago quarter. And now order backlog has risen to $72.1 billion, which is up 92% from the previous year. Power and energy sales also have climbed 17% to $8.24 billion, which has all been fueled by heavily by all high demand for generators, turbines for AI data centers here. Construction industry sales have also surged 35% to $8.35 billion. Resource industries sales, you guessed it, have grown 20% to $4.65 billion, and shareholder returns have been deployed $2.2 billion in second quarter, split into $1.5 billion for stock repurchases, and finally $0.7 billion for dividends, Dara.
Yeah, so I like this look here in Caterpillar. We'll crawl over to my chart here so we can look at this infographic. So yeah, this visual here is not yet on X at TTV Research. It'll be posted tomorrow afternoon. Basically what I did here, so there are two main subcategories of Caterpillar revenue. It's going to be power, energy, and materials, which comprises these first three categories, so power, energy, construction industries, resource industries. And the second larger category is financial products, which of course is the fourth name here. So most of their revenue is part of this power, energy, materials subcategory. And as you guys can see, really strong growth across the segment. You've got 17% year-over-year increase in the power and energy subsegment. You've got construction industries up 35% year-over-year. Good look for a company who I think is mostly associated with construction, though I now know AI as well is going to be part of Caterpillar in a growing fashion. And then you also have resource industries up 20% year-over-year. Now the financial product segment only up 10% year-over-year. So not as strong, but still double-digit growth for all four major subsegments of Caterpillar revenue. Not a bad look. Really all I have to say, but I did want to mention this. And again, if you guys are like, hey, I want to look at this infographic more, it'll be available on X at TTV Research tomorrow around, I think, 12:30 p.m. unless I change that. So there you go.
All right, let's talk a little bit about this. $4.3 billion in operating profit. That tells you a lot of what you need to know there. But let's be honest, $392 million of that is the refunds from the IEEPA tariffs. So those are not going to be recurring next month, or they could be. Actually, I think that they may be due some more. In any event, artificially lifting the profit margin to about 20.9%, but that's all right. Let's also talk about the growth, shifting from price hikes to actual real equipment volume sales. So a lot of the increase in their earnings, their EPS, had been because they were raising prices because demand was insatiable, whether it was for their energy or their construction equipment. But that's kind of changing now. They're continuing to raise prices, but they're also selling more units. And that's what you want to see, because typically means you're selling more to more customers. And you always want to make sure you've got a lot of diversity there so you're not relying too much on any one entity. Let's also talk about their power and energy segment profit ripping up to 30%. That is their power and energy surged to $2.03 billion in the quarter. It was, of course, propelled or boosted by demand for diesel and gas power turbines, which are being used to power these AI data centers. And they're not all created equal, by the way, guys, right? A lot of these gas turbines, they're temporary setups, and some of them are permanent. So they've got their hand in both cookie jars there. For example, when Elon Musk was setting up his data center in Memphis, initially, all the gas turbines that he had there were unpermitted. And so unpermitted usually means temporary, at least it did in that particular instance. So you either have temporary fixtures as well as permanent fixtures. I like that diversity there. And then $4.4 billion in operating cash flow, returning $2.2 billion of that right into the hands of shareholders, myself included. Been involved in Caterpillar for a number of years. This is one of the best performing names I have in my stock portfolio. $1.5 billion in share buybacks and about $700 million in one I know you love, the divvy.
Sharif, I'm over the
You're over the divvy?
Yeah, bro. I'm all about share buyback now at this point.
You're a share buy.
Yeah,
You don't want to be a dividend aristocrat
No.
anymore.
If
It's all
you're
over.
buying back, so that's my next step. Is I need
Like share
NVDA to
buybacks.
start buying a lot of shares. We had a
Okay,
$10
Joe.
or $5 super chat saying, Joe, didn't you say NVDA 185? I did. I believe we were gonna fell, and there we go. Pull that bad boy
Pull
up
up.
right here. Yeah, I wanted 185. Why? Because I could buy more. It's not there, but I still have some, so I'm fortunate enough.
Is
to
the
be
order
sitting
still active?
No.
Okay.
No, why would it? We were trading at 210. I'm still not eliminating it
Fair.
because I think there could be an opportunity at some point.
Okay.
Who knows? Anything can happen, right? But still, I got more at 185. It's cheaper than 200.
How do you feel
quick
about
maths.
Cat?
How do I feel about Caterpillar?
Yeah.
Now listen, this is a name that we've been talking about and has been on a run for the past little while. Why? Because they have the ability to create their own grids. It's huge for the company. Sia brought back up the fact that they have a backlog of of equipment that's going to date all the way to 2030. Now, we had a downgrade last week as well, too. I forget who gave the downgrade, but they're just stating that some of the headwinds being that some of the states and the cities within these states are rejecting these data centers, but it's going to obviously affect Caterpillar less equipment when you're building these massive buildings. So what I'm getting at here is all that is out of the water. In my opinion, these data centers are going to get built. The real headwind, in my opinion, would be is that when you start throwing these things up in space, because I do believe it will happen. Why? Because you don't necessarily need the excavators, the dozers, the backhoes in order to create all of this stuff, right? So where we're currently sitting right now in this specific cycle for this company is it's tailwind, tailwind, tailwind. Never mind what the regulators have to say or the politicians and not allowing these things to happen in New York, because they will get built somewhere. And this is going to be one of the fundamentals, the picks and shovels, essentially starts right here with Caterpillar for this AI data
And
center
it's
building.
funny, like I remember that moratorium by Governor Hochul. No one wants to build a data center in New York, man. They go to West Virginia, they go to Virginia, they go to data center corridor, they
Why
go
would
to
you
Texas.
go there? It's too expensive to build, and like you're paying energy
is.
costs and all of these things. It just doesn't make any financial success.
Well
So
said.
yeah, it was like, okay, well, you don't want to build it here. Well, we'll just say that you can't build it here. So
Exactly.
that's fine. By all means, they'll find a place to do so.
See Mississauga? They
Yeah.
tried to do that as well, Joe.
Well, yeah, I know. I heard people complaining about it on the radio as well, so I switched the channel. So I mean,
Radio, eh?
yeah, they're complaining about it over there.
The radio.
Yeah.
You want to
Well, I
elaborate
mean,
a
it's
little
like,
bit?
hey, listen, man. If you're not going to do it, somebody else will, and that's unfortunately the nature of the beast. It's either catch up or fall behind.
I was a little surprised you're listening to the radio.
I listen to the radio every morning. On
Seriously?
The way. Yeah, I was born in
What channel?
102.1.
Ah,
The Edge.
The Edge. I love it. Perfect.
Remember the Dean Blundell show?
Of course.
Yo,
Yeah.
bro,
Controversial.
What a show that was, man. That would have me cracking up every single day. Good stuff.
No, it's FM radio, Roger.
Yeah, it's not AM.
No, but I mean, I was a little, I don't know. Do you guys listen to the radio anymore? You do? I haven't turned on the radio.
Someone said LOL radio. I mean, I prefer to listen to the radio on the way in and on the way home, too.
I like it.
Yeah.
I haven't put on the radio in years, brother.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Swear to God.
You don't even listen to...
It's just always Spotify on Bluetooth,
Okay.
right? Or whatever I want, YouTube.
Fair
like,
enough.
Just Bluetooth. But yeah,
Yeah.
maybe I should get back on that radio tip.
I think it's... Hey, man.
All right, let's send it back to Sia.
Let's talk a little bit McD, because I'm loving this, but not loving the revenue here. Company has reported an EPS of $3.38 adjusted versus $3.34 expected. Revenue is a miss, coming at $7.10 billion versus expected that was at $7.13 billion. Q2 net income come in at $2.36 billion or $3.32 per share, which is up 5% compared to the same period last year. Operating margin maintaining a strong 47% upside. Global comparable sales are up 1.3%, which is a slowdown from 3.8% growth in the same year. Now, same store sales have increased very marginally, but 0.8% due to value promotions that faced a rather challenging consumer sentiment and environment. However, international markets have grown 1.5%, which had been constrained by higher energy costs, also weather impacts in Europe. McD currently up 1%. Adara, what do you say on this?
Yeah, one thing here in the trading, this is one that as much as it's spready, I am not loving it to trade, because I just find it to be, as you're seeing here with this chart, super, kind of dead, kind of choppy, kind of range bound. Like if you compare this to like a Caterpillar, just some other spready names that traded today. I mean, this initially really nice short, or Spotify. Like there are, I would just say, some tickers you can trade even with spread on earnings. McDonald's is not one of them. Just my quick thought on that. But let's talk here about McDonald's and their CapEx guidance. Yeah, that was my thought too. So they posted $3.4 billion CapEx for fiscal 25. They raised their CapEx guidance during that Q4 2025 report in February. They raised it again here. So they're specifically raising the lower end. They're expecting here CapEx between $3.7 billion and $3.9 billion for fiscal 26. Analysts were looking for, I think, just above $3.7 billion. So the midpoint of this is going to be higher than expected. Now, I know it's weird to think that CapEx would be a concern for a company like McDonald's, but given how much we're concerned about CapEx in general, I think it's just worth flagging here because, believe me, was not expecting to see CapEx in this report at all. That was a little bit of a hamburglar in the mix here that I was not expecting to see. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that quickly. Also seeing from Wall Street Journal, Iran signaling its willingness to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, but they're demanding the right to collect fees. We already knew this. But yeah, my thoughts on McDonald's. CapEx, not something you expect from this company.
I don't have any comment on McDonald's. Do you have?
Yeah, I could touch a little bit here on McDonald's. I mean, so there's a couple of issues that happened. So the $3 items didn't bring much customer engagement as expected. The executive also speaking in that, like, we're going to hit 28 or 50,000 stores, I believe, by 2028. Now, my big question is that you have these meal deals that aren't bringing in exactly what you wanted to. Are you going to continue with that? Because when you have the $3 meal deal, it's going to hurt the margins of this company specifically. And when it comes to brick and mortar, they're continuously growing, but I don't know how much gain from a comparable sales that you're going to get for this company, unfortunately. So for me personally, you have the Ozempic, the Ozempics, the Mounjaros, and all of these GLPs coming into market when people are looking for healthier alternatives. I don't think McDonald's made a good pivot in regards to that. We've seen other names get hit, Pepsi and Coca-Cola get hit in regards to the GLP-1s. So for me personally, and their menu doesn't change enough. I personally don't like McDonald's, and I don't like McDonald's going forward. It's just a popular name, and I'm going to stick by that. Let's send it over to Sia.
CRWD CrowdStriked a little bit towards the downside. Microsoft has quietly shifted most of its security workload to an in-house AI model and has ditched CrowdStrike for more in-house model, like I just said. Its in-house AI has taken over most security work at a lower cost. CRWD to the downside. This is Forbes reporting this right now.
Yeah, we can. Are you done your?
Yeah. I don't have any more comments on McDonald's.
Let's talk about Wayfair's largest market has now grown 8.7% to $3.1 billion. This is by far the most growth the company has had since the COVID-19 pandemic that hit in 2020. EPS has come in at 95 cents adjusted versus 89 cents adjusted that was expected. Revenue coming in at $3.52 billion versus $3.47 billion that was expected. W, however, has reported a loss of $1 million or 1 cent per share compared with a gain of $15 million or 10 cents per share a year earlier. Adjusting for non-recurring charges like equity-based compensation, Wayfair has seen earnings of 95 cents per share here. It has also beat Wall Street's expectations on both top and bottom lines. EBITDA, however, for the company has reached $242 million, exceeding expectations of $230 million. Finally, 10.6 million order deliveries have beat consensus of 10.4 million deliveries, and active customers currently at 21.7 million, which has beat the estimate of 21.5 million. Wayfair is up very nicely on the day, 31.5%.
I really like this report, and what you're seeing is here, there's a huge growth segment in their more expensive products where they make a lot more money. So their high-end specialized banners completely outpace some of the regular furniture offering. So their luxury platform up 35% year over year. Their Wayfair specialty brand, so kind of think of an in-house brand, right? A lot more margins on that because there's no middleman, up 20% year over year. But when you look at their actual kind of like mainstream furniture, it's flat or kind of muted. But the products that cost more, the products that they make more money are moving off the shelf. I like that a lot. There is, though, a bit of a difference here between how they did in North America and how they did internationally. You saw 8.7% year over year growth in North America. That is their strongest post-COVID. They brought in about $3.1 billion, but they contracted 2% year over year in every other market. What's going on with that? That brought $394 million from that segment, everything else other than, just North America. So something to think about there. But their strongest free cash flow since the pandemic. They have $301 million in free cash flow on the quarter. That is non-GAAP. I have to say, it's the highest quarterly cash conversion rate since the 2020 COVID pandemic boom, when everybody was at home, everybody was doing upgrades. You couldn't go out, you couldn't go on vacation, so you were spending on in-house or in-home items. So it did make sense that would be the top, but nice to see that they've recovered since then, Joey.
Yeah, I don't have much to say really about this, but I mean, I'll take this for a positive. It is modest growth, but we'll take it. Quarterly orders delivered increase 6%, and then active customers rise 3.3%. It's also stating the fact that you're going to get a price target increase when you raise guidance, and also the fact that they're grabbing market share from some of these other larger online retail, furniture retail stores. So that's positive. When you're starting to snatch share, across the board, and probably from the king of e-commerce themselves, Amazon, I think you're on the right trajectory, and it seems to be the case for what Wayfair is doing right now. But now, listen, totally different beast when it comes to looking at some of the technicals on this. It's not horrible, but it's not fantastic either. It is off of those lows, but if you zoom out a little bit, when you're in doubt and you zoom out after COVID, it makes it a little bit more difficult to justify owning it. But if you do believe that they're going to continue on the path that they are, what you want to see is, I want to see the deliveries and customer grow a little bit more than 3% respectively. At least it's not negative growth, and you want to see those deliveries in probably around the double digits, in my opinion. I think that would be a little bit more of an appealing name at that point. Here, NVDA, there it goes, Katina, man, another name. NVDA really starting to break out as this market is on a warpath that seems to be.
I like the warpath.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's only a matter of time until we have a SPY all-time high. It's only a matter of days, and probably by the end of the week. I'll let Katina Man give a projection as well too. And when we see an all-time high in Nasdaq, it could be after the bell, after AMD and SpaceX report. If these guys start to climb higher, then watch out for the Nasdaq ATH.
Let's take a look at PG. Procter & Gamble, CEO of the company, Shailesh Jejurikar, has said on CNBC that Procter & Gamble is buying supplement brand Throne for $3.8 billion. So this acquisition is a bid for P&G to grow its health and wellness division. The consumer goods, giant, as you do know, at P&G already owns other brands like Vicks and Oral-B. This is coming from the CEO of the company, who had an interview with CNBC saying that we are really happy with the asset itself. It's a really well-run operation, and it's been around for a long time. So the supplement brand, which has been founded in 1984, had gone public in late 2021 and hit a valuation of $525 million in 2021. So L. Catterton had then taken the company private back in 2023 in a deal that was valued at $680 million. So its annual revenue has surpassed $500 million in 2025, according to Thorne. CNBC has also reported that the company's CEO, that is Colin Watts, has mentioned earlier that this year it had a potential to become a billion-dollar brand within the next few years. And the majority of Thorne's revenue comes from shoppers under the age of 40. So that's the consensus over here. The supplement brand has also seen a surge in direct-to-consumer sales. Currently, you have P&G, just going to check the levels here, up close to 2% on the day.
Thank you very much for that, Sia. $15 billion right back into the hands of shareholders via the shareholder or buybacks. You got to love that. Let's talk a little bit about this. $1.4 billion guidance headwind. What are they doing with all this money? Well, they said we have essentially a $1.4 billion after-tax cost penalty. And that, we're going to see. They're trying to blame the Middle East on a lot of this disruption. They're saying, if Brent stays at around $90 a share, they're going to continue to drag there. And then they also have $150 million in high interest expenses, and they blamed $50 million there on Forex headwind. But they are investing heavily here, apparently in marketing, which kind of makes me wonder a little bit. So operating margin did drop down because they're kind of flowing about 19.5% increase in their advertising and their product packaging reinvestment. So that hurt margins a little bit. But there is a little bit of a difference here in how they're doing in North America versus how they're doing in the rest of the world. So North American sales grew about 2%, but compare it to China, up 4% year over year. How about Latin America? Also 4%. Europe's 5%. And then Asia Pacific and the Middle East up 3%. So every other area, geographic area in the world, other than North America, is growing at above 3%. So I got to wonder why a little bit that we're dropping a little bit back there. Oh, you're good to go. Yeah. So P&G, guys, I mean, interesting. It's a bellwether name. It shows kind of the strength or lack thereof of the consumer. I think this is not such a bad report. Where are they up or down on the day? Not a name I typically follow. Let's find out here, Joey. They're up 1.76. So nothing really to write home about, but I didn't really expect this thing to be up double digits anyway. So yeah.
Take a look at our final ticker for today, PFE. That's Pfizer. Company's now expecting a full year revenue to total $60.5 billion to $62.5 billion, comparing to a previous outlook of $59.5 billion to $62.5 billion. So adjusted EPS has come in at 77 cents, beating the analyst consensus estimate of 68 to 69 cents. Revenue reaching $15.03 billion, surpassing expectations of roughly $14.4 billion, also marking a 2.6% increase year over year. Net results here is that posted a GAAP net loss of $248 million or 0.04 per share due to a $3.8 billion write-down on an experimental lung cancer asset. So Pfizer has said it has cut its full-year revenue expectation for its COVID products as well, the vaccine Comirnaty and antiviral pill Paxlovid, to $4 billion, just down from $5 billion previously. Currently, PFE is up still 1.7% on the day.
All right, let's get to this. So $4.3 billion in write-downs. It's about, 4 penny per share loss, $248 million. They're also blaming it on a non-cash intangible asset impairment charge. That's a mouthful there. See, I did mention the COVID-19 guidance. They're still talking about COVID-19. They did drop their revenue forecast for that, but they did raise it on other areas as well. So we'll see if that balances out. How about the $2.5 billion new cost reduction plan? So they announced an additional $2.5 billion in anticipated net productivity savings from 27 to 29 as they look to increase efficiencies. And they acquired a lot of assets, right? So they launched they newly acquired and launched commercial products. We're talking about Padcev and Nurtec. Those specific drugs did well. Yearly, 18% year over year from the operational sense, but that was kind of offset by the $1.5 billion in annual losses because of the patents that they're expiring. So certain drugs that they're not going to be on exclusive to Pfizer anymore. Guys, let's get right down to work here. ADGM just broke out, so it took out the dollar pretty aggressively. This is still ranging, believe it or not, because we have that 111 high from 1045. And we didn't breach it on this latest attempt here. 110 high. So we're still below the high of the day. And even though we were trading kind of south of that dollar, I'll submit to you guys, this is still a range. Essentially VWAP as support and give or take, a couple of pennies above the dollar as resistance. ADGM, this takes out 111 high. We could squeeze. Let's look at the daily on this one to see if this one, okay, so this is a repeat offender. It has a tendency to do this. So this one, it could absolutely squeeze. Just be on the lookout for the reversion. Look at all these big candles that end up either with no body or close red. Case in point, not KC, but case in point, April 27th, we rip up from the low to the high about, 90% on the day. We close red. Same thing on June 9th. Same thing on July 2nd. So this one has definitely a habit of ripping up and then giving back the day's gains. Be careful with this one, especially, I would say, if it loses VWAP. But just to put it into perspective, this one did have a big green day yesterday. It was trading at around 37 pennies. It got to a high of 89. Today we have higher lows and higher highs. But if my memory serves me right, ADGM is bid non-compliant. We checked on the NASDAQ website. So keep that in mind. There could be an offering coming anytime here, Joey.
All right, good stuff. I mean, in regards to
get it, Bovin. Bovin's in the house.
I don't have. Finally, he's a little late.
Get it, Bovin.
He's late.
He was printing on AMIX, by the way. I didn't tell everybody, but he was taking big positions on that. Dude, he was long 5 2/3. He held in the 16.5. That's my man. That's my man, Buffett.
Yeah, listen, I don't have much to say on Pfizer. There's a handful of sales that are kind of offsetting their COVID-19 product revenue, which I think is comical. What are you even doing still talking about COVID-19? That was over half a decade ago. It's time for the company to move on to something else, and I don't even know if it'll actually recover from those levels. I just don't know if there's going to be, unless there's that next pandemic stepping in. I don't think Pfizer is going to be operationally that well, to be honest with you. It's a dividend play. It's always been hovering around that $30.
The pipeline, Joey, man. Like,
they don't have
they're
anything.
Acquiring new drugs. What happened to the company that made Viagra, that made Zithromax, right? That made Norvasc? Where is that product pipeline that defined Pfizer for like a quarter century? Yeah. It ain't there, bro. I'll tell you that.
Things move on, man. People grow. We have the original background back there, so Fabian.
Yeah, we're resetting it.
Messing around with some things. Other than that, we're setting it off to the desk.
Yeah, we're going to take a look here, guys, at SPCX. SpaceX actually just popped here into new high of days, still making new high of days. We're touching 125 right now. Now, this rally comes as we get a post from Elon Musk. Basically, 5 hours ago, Zero Hedge, popular account on X, they post about massive SpaceX shorting, quote unquote, ahead of the company's earnings report. Now, just a couple minutes ago, Elon Musk replies to this post. I tried to warn them, but they just doubled down. Ellipses, shrug emoji. So people are interpreting this as potentially these could be some really good earnings or really well-received earnings. Elon Musk warning the shorts. Take it how you will. He is, kind of known for being a little bit provocative and for teasing people, playing with people's expectations on X. Nonetheless, here, SpaceX now breaking above 125 as Elon Musk hints at potentially bad news for the shorts with tonight's earnings report. Back to you.
I like Angry Goat's comment in the chat, man. Look what he said, Joey. Pfizer is working on a new pandemic with Fauci as we speak.
Yeah, there you go. There we go.
Katina, man. Did you hear what Brett Favre said on
Everybody was talking about
podcast that he's on with? Come on, man.
I heard he went off.
No, man. There's that podcast. What's that main guy, man? He's like, he used to be a punter. Pat McAfee. Thank you. He went on the Pat McAfee show or whatever it's called, podcast, and he just went into a tirade about Fauci for like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for like 15 minutes, man. And like it didn't even have anything to do with Fauci, man. It's like some guy was just asking him like how he felt in a certain situation or something. He's like, I'm gonna plead the fifth on that. And then he just rips into Fauci for the
CTE, man.
I know, well, whatever, right? It was Aaron Rodgers, right? I plead the fifth. Yeah. Did I not say Aaron Rodgers? What did I say?
Yeah,
I said Aaron Rodgers, yeah. No, but I was saying Pat McAfee is the show.
Oh, you said Brett Favre.
Did I say Brett Favre? My bad. I meant Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, no. You do know about that one. He's nuts.
Aaron, yeah, well, ask Aaron.
My bad, guys. I said Brett Favre. I meant Aaron Rodgers.
Ask your boy about that little ayahuasca or whatever trip he went on in the cave for like 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah.
You know what else I heard?
What?
It's 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock. Yeah, let's get out of here. Let's see you later. Man, what an absolute monster.
What a day, bro.
Yeah,
Today's been a day.
Should we do that? Yeah, round of applause.
Yeah, absolutely.
Round of applause. We're not going to sing the rest of that song. Do you know that song, Sharif?
Which one?
By Waka Flocka.
Can you sing it so I can make sure I know it?
Round of applause.
Keep going.
No, we cannot do that.
I don't know it. I'm going to need to hear a little bit more.
I'm sure you would like to.
Joey, it was a sick day today, bro. I hope everybody cleaned up on AMIX. Big earnings after the freaking bell today, man. If you don't know, there's a company called AMD and SpaceX. Maybe you've heard of them.
Yeah, I'm not aware. I'm only a shareholder of 50% of the names that you just mentioned. So, Casey, I told you, you don't want to start a band with me.
Bro.
So, yeah, anyways.
You might end up getting the boxing gloves too, man. Don't.
Who? Oh.
Yeah. Well, you don't want to box this guy. We've seen what this guy's
I'm back in the gym next week.
You're back in the boxing gym?
Yes, sir.
That's cap.
I got to wear a hockey helmet.
Hold on. Where do you...
Right there, just right at the corner of Bathurst and Adelaide,
So it's close by here, eh?
Yeah, you want me to
that's
drop
not going to work out.
I could drop the Addy if you want.
Yeah, man. How often are you going to do it?
I'll go 3 times a week.
2 times on the weekend?
Saturday, I'll most likely go.
Then I might join you on that.
Yeah,
that might be the move,
a couple pros, a couple big name pros. My boy Sammy Vargas fought Connor Ben.
No way.
Got his butt whooped, but yeah, he did.
Yeah, but I mean, you take guts
and I
step
told
in
you,
that
he
ring,
dropped
man.
Amir Khan.
Your boy dropped Amir Khan.
Yeah,